Did I tell you guys that when I was at the disco in year 8 and they played that Black Eyed Peas song that goes, "Pump it louder," I thought the word was gnarly. And I was yelling gnarly every goddamn time. Gnarly! Yes. Pump it gnarly! It's a better lyric. It's a better lyric.
It's a bed of lyrics.
Yeah. Now, is this a song by the Black Eyed Peas?
I liked They See Me Rolling, I'm Hayden.
Yeah,
that's how
I like
you introduce yourself on the pod now.
I often say that to people. That song's about me. Welcome to Truly Rotten Tomato Potatoes, your one-stop shop for movie criticism and critique. You're listening to the only podcast based in Canberra where 4 men watch any movie that's been rated 0% or less on that receives a 0% rating on the website Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah.
And we watch it so you don't have to, then we talk about it so you don't have to, and then we
and then you don't have to listen to it
we
either.
release the podcast and you don't have to do that. So really we take care of everything.
We do all the work. You guys are just sitting there listening.
You do have to listen to it, though.
Yes.
That's compulsory now, though, right? We made that
legally
compulsory.
mandatory.
Sadly.
Yeah. That was what Scott Morrison campaigned on.
Was it?
Yeah.
Really?
I don't follow a lot of politics, but I'm pretty sure he said that.
That was the one part that you did follow.
Yeah, because he said my name.
Yeah.
He really helped. He really helped us.
So what are we talking about? We're talking about an Australian movie, boys.
So this time it's a movie that doesn't have 0% on Rotten Tomatoes. Does it have a score on Rotten Tomatoes?
It technically does have one review and it's negative. So so that puts it in as 0%, but it doesn't qualify in the same way that it has to have its minimum of 20 reviews or whatever. This is an Australian independent film from 2015 called Me and My Mates versus the Zombie Apocalypse. And we all watched it together, actually. We did a communal viewing. And then we also did a live podcast, our first ever kind of live podcast Q&A. And we'll show some snippets from that. We'll talk through that situation. But first, let's just talk through this Truly Rotten Potato.
So Declan, you made this movie.
Well, that's like
Single-handedly.
neither here nor there, and it's kind of debatable.
I mean,
it's all you, man.
I would say it's both here and there.
It's here, it's there, it's everywhere.
Would there be?
It's just then and it's right now.
I don't think we'd be doing this movie if you hadn't, right? What is the likelihood that you hadn't made this film and then we, for some reason, decided to review it on our podcast? And also, what are the chances that we would then interview you in front of a live audience if you hadn't made the film?
Well, you made it for the podcast, right?
Yeah.
When 5 years ago when we decided we were going to
just in case, I knew we'd need content. I knew
Part
that
of the 5-year plan,
the list, you got to stretch that list out.
Got to have a 5-year plan.
And of course, we're doing this special episode because we just hit 10 billion viewers.
So good.
Downloads. It's like we've just hit a subscriber number that was more than the humans that exist. I mean, there's a lot of bots involved in that and a lot of money from our sense hiring like Indian companies
Multiple
to
visits.
use bots and stuff. So
I would go to my computer and reset the browser and refresh it every 12 seconds.
Do you remember in the days of
year.
YouTube where you could download an add-on that would refresh your browser like every 7 seconds and we would pump up
That
numbers?
was me. That was me because I got really good at it. People would hire me to do that and install it on their browser, and that was just me at the other end just refreshing it for them.
Well, you could have done that to the trailer of this movie.
That's what
that would have helped us.
That's what I was doing for a whole year. That's how we got up to the 10 billion.
Where is this one review? Who reviewed your film?
I've got it right here.
Well, there's more than one review, but there's only one listed on Rotten Tomatoes from a critic.
And so you've got a 25% on Rotten Tomatoes for this one review.
Oh, is that? But that's users, right? That's
this was an actual guy, and this is an actual legit reviewer.
But the 25% is from users.
Let me.
I'm not going to lie. I know every
audience score.
Review. Yeah, that's your audience score.
Okay, sorry. Well,
and we'll see if we can beat that 25% with the 4 people on this table today. And let me tell you, one person's going to say this is a fresh movie. It's not going to be me.
No,
because it's a zombie movie. Everyone's right.
It's a zom-rom-com.
Yeah, people say the rom. There's no rom. It's just oz-zom-com.
Well,
Zombie.
it
But people
depends
always
what your
say
definition of rom is, because mine's very different to yours. Yours is
Yeah.
probably the traditional romance.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yours
mine-
is someone roaming with a gun.
That's
like
right.
any movie that has someone roaming, that's a rom-com to you.
Yeah, no, mine is like a ROM that you would install on an emulator on a
Right.
computer. That's what I thought. Because there's that one
Yeah, yeah.
scene where you see Alex Williamson just like, hang on, I just got to install Z-SNES over here because I'm trying to play Donkey Kong Country 2.
If a movie has someone with a CD,
Because that's what you'd be
it's a-
doing during
it's a rom-com.
the zombie apocalypse. You'd be installing emulators.
You probably would, to be frank.
Yeah.
So
To
I,
be
if you
Declan,
wanted to be
probably
frank-
wouldn't.
I'd never seen this film, Declan. So I think that makes me the odd one out here.
He's the
At
odd
the
duck.
The
table.
old one out.
The old one out.
The odd duck.
Yeah, so you can understand my trepidation in using this film as content for our podcast, because like the podcast is predicated on us seeing bad films and then like talking about why they were bad on the podcast. So the idea that you were like, hey, we should all watch my film and then talk about it on the podcast, it made me feel a bit uncomfortable, but it was
puts us
good.
in a predicament, right?
It does.
And you have to balance this thing where it's like, one, I know Declan and I know his sense of humor. So already I'm pretty much half on board. And then the added thing of like, both Declan and Morgan worked on it, and I got to work on the set and I had like a blast, and I got to like tell people about this movie. I've been spreading it far and wide. And I guess, yeah, I mean, I hadn't watched it in a few years, but I was kind of like, how do you fairly review something that I'm like, you made it and you're in front of me?
Yeah, well, you just
You're all-
say what you think, boys. Stop holding back.
Hold on.
I can take it.
We're building the pressure.
I think it's the same as all the other movies we've reviewed, though. All those movies had good redeeming qualities to them.
No.
And
Are we saying
sometimes
all of them?
not all of them, some of them. And then sometimes we weren't even on the list. We're reviewing Mr. Dundee, which was
Yeah,
I
probably.
must say that this is the
A
most
masterpiece.
similar to Mr.
Yeah,
Dundee.
probably the closest. They both have Jim Jefferies, if that
Oh,
counts.
that's true.
Yeah,
That's true.
I liked your movie, Declan. I thought it was funny.
thanks, man.
Yeah.
Well, we
was
don't.
good.
Yeah, I don't want to. I don't want you to
force us to.
Yeah.
I don't want to
Like-
talk about the movie per se.
It's interesting watching something back.
No, it's not.
It's 5 years old.
It's not.
You've seen
but
it once.
I know
you've
what you
seen
mean,
it
yeah.
1,000
Yeah.
times.
it is.
Watching it with 5 years having passed in history, and also it's a movie about an airborne virus that like destroys the world, and so it's a little bit timely.
Topical.
That is.
Wow.
There's an opening line that says, "This following is a true story. It just hasn't fucking happened yet." And watching it last week, you're like, "Well, it has happened now."
He's referring to the trade war with China.
Yeah. Zombies.
Yeah. Wait, huh?
All the
coming
tradesmen.
down.
All those tradesmen just money, money.
That's right.
Those tradespeople.
Can we talk about China for a bit?
Yes.
Okay, so it's this country in Asia. It's very big.
Beijing
Very
capital.
populous.
Beijing
a lot
capital.
of people
Give me
there.
any country, I'll tell you the capital of
Okay.
Beijing of
Sweden?
China.
Okay.
If you give me any country,
Yeah.
I'll tell you the capital
Australia.
of China.
Pakistan.
Beijing.
Yeah.
Beijing,
Yeah.
Turkmenistan.
Beijing.
It's still,
Give me any
okay.
country and I'll give you the
Can't-
capital of China.
I can't think
Japan?
of any other countries.
That's tricky. Beijing.
Hong
Yeah.
Kong.
Thought I had you for a second there. Beijing. We can talk for China a little
China?
bit longer. Beijing.
All right. Cool. That's
Wait,
really
do you
that's
want-
was that
it's
all
a
you-
good. It's a
China?
party.
You
It's
just
a party
wanna say-
favor. No.
Was that
I think that's around
That's-
about.
I thought-
what did we get? 30 seconds on China there.
30 seconds
Yeah.
on
That's
China?
about what I wanted.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
very
It's like the,
central.
the nightly news. Just
Mm-hmm.
quickly touch on it.
Little
Move on.
snippet.
Do you
Yeah.
guys remember Richard Moorcroft? Whatever happened to Richard Moorcroft,
What
our
a-
beloved
What a
news
dream
anchor?
boat.
What a dream boat.
What a bean drought.
You know what happened to him? The world said, "We want less Croft. Get the fuck out of here."
Dickie Lescroft.
Yeah.
Get him out of here.
Get it. What about Lara Croft? What
Oh,
about it?
What too?
Hey?
What about it?
Anyone
about
got
it?
anything on Lara
Yeah.
Croft?
But what about?
Yeah. I saw Lara Croft
Oh.
out at a bush doof the other day. Bloody Tomb Raver.
Yeah.
Tomb Raider is not a good title to have. That's basically like
Yeah.
grave
Going through
robber.
dead people's.
Yeah.
No, that was there was a time where we wanted that.
We wanted to be able to
There was a time where we wanted that.
There was a time.
I think he was like, whoever invented it was like,
He could have been a woman.
let's be honest. Have you seen the original Lara Croft on PS1? That's a male design if I've ever seen.
Oh
it.
yeah.
It looks like it's a big penis. It's just a big penis and balls.
She's a phallic symbol.
Uh-huh.
But I'm just expecting he's like, all right, we got this character. They rob graves. I don't think I like this character. They're super hot. Let's make $1 million games and movies.
Cha-ching.
Originally, it was like a tubby dude named Robert Graves. And they're like, no. Lara Croft, she's the Tomb Raider. She's hot.
Yeah.
She's not a chubby Rob Graves.
She raids. She don't rob.
So, what was the beginning of this? How did we start this movie? I mean,
Like the actual plot?
No, I mean, how did you think to yourself that I want to write a feature film and I want it to be about this, and I really want to put everything into it and go and make it and like try and fund it and everything? How did you develop that idea?
Yeah, so I was developing ideas for like low budget movies, and I was working in telephone exchanges and doing like telecom tradesman stuff and hanging out with a lot of telecom tradesman tradie types. And I'm not really one of those people. I'm more of a, an artistic, gentle soul with a lot of emotions, thoughts, and feelings.
A lot
And,
to say about China.
and so I sat around and found these guys really funny. And the thing that like was the most interesting was the kind of attitude of like, they work super hard, but they're also super lazy. And there's a very fine line between bragging about how hard you've worked and how you need a holiday because they're always working long days, weekends. It's like a physical job. And also being like, how long can you stretch a lunchtime out? How long can you not have to do anything today? So it's like this real mix of doing both of those things all the time. And also at the time I was like a very unconfident, kind of anxious person. And these guys just had this attitude of like, everything will sort itself out, even when a job's really hard or the system's completely blown up and you're like they get called out on New Year's Eve to go and fix things and stuff. And they're like telling me stories about driving utes up mountains to go to these 3G towers and fix them and then getting lost and getting bogged. And me just being like, well, what did you do? How do you deal with that situation? That sounds horrible. And then they'd be like, oh, you just call a friend and you stand in the rain for 90 minutes until they drive and come and get you. And then they tow you out. And I was like, wow, you can get out of anything if you're a tradie, if you can just deal with it. So that was like the attitude. And then I just was like, why hasn't Australia ever done a Shaun of the Dead, like a zombie comedy movie? And I wanted to do one, and I was like, I'll use that attitude as the basis. So it'll be telecom tradesmen. They'll sit around in this building. They won't ever really get active. They won't try and solve it. They'll just be like, let's see what happens. And as they're dying, they'd still have that attitude. Like their friends are getting killed around them, and they're just like, well, he's dead now. We have to move on. And there's just kind of no sentimental value to it at all.
Yeah.
That's the basis.
Because the script rocks. That's what I love most about the film is like how many one-liners and the attitudes of the characters.
So many good jokes. There is,
that just like perseveres through the whole film. That they're just unwaveringly casual, but also getting up in arms about things that they really shouldn't give a shit about, like the cricket team. And
that's
and
like
stuff
the one joke the movie kind of consistently has is the world is clearly ended. There's a zombie apocalypse, but they're still focusing on these like small interpersonal relationships and like, oh, did you cheat on me? Oh, I really want to get on your cricket team. I don't get enough respect by my bosses at work. I don't like the guy that's dating my daughter, like all that kind of shit that really shouldn't matter at that point because you're really like, we need to get food and we need to get ammo and all that kind of stuff. And there's a bit of that, but that's real casual. And then they just drink beer and talk shit for the entire movie.
Well, I think that's where I mean, and not to be out of order, but this is it's a bad movie podcast, and I feel like my first of the troubles is that I mean, in this world, what's happening in China?
Such a prescient.
It doesn't
point.
get
Thank
covered.
you so much for bringing that up.
I was skirting around it, but
it is a little insular. I'll admit it.
You build this world, and I'm like, right, zombies, Telstra Tower. Wait a minute, where
There's
else has
something
towers?
missing here. Yeah.
What is the CCP up to right now, and how are they dealing with this pandemic? I know what you mean.
What's going on?
Forget about CCP. What about CPP? CPP. Someone's penis.
Speaking of, you don't see a P.
No, you see a testicle.
You see a pair of them.
And you know what?
Is that what two testicles looks like? I've only ever seen one.
That's what they both look like.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Now, were they the real actor Matt Pop playing that character's
they
testicles?
weren't.
Really?
What,
What on
dude?
earth?
You're breaking the illusion.
You're breaking
dude.
my balls.
It was
You're
a
quite
stunt
literally
ball,
breaking my
man.
balls. Stunt
Right, it was a person
It was a
though. It
different-
wasn't a
it wasn't-
fake ball.
yeah.
Those were real nuts.
They were real, yeah.
Yeah, I
There's
appreciate
even-
it.
Yeah. We do a full... That's George Senior in the rest of... Oh, no, that's Henry Winkler's
Henry
character.
Winkler.
Yeah. We do a full screen close-up. And in a cinema, those balls look big.
Those some big balls.
Yeah.
Have you guys heard the AC/DC song "Big Balls"?
No.
Alright, I'll get it up in a minute.
Okay.
But they weren't Matt Pop's
No,
balls.
they weren't. So the idea was that the joke was he had really big balls, and so I was like, I don't really know if Matt Pop, the actor, has big balls. I also didn't really want to make him do it. I'm sure
We'll
he would have
find
done
out.
it if he had to, but the producer was like, well, I'll get one of my friends who has like notoriously big balls, right? And then
Like that.
when I saw the shot, because I actually wasn't, they just went off to a corner and did that shot, like somewhere else. And when I saw the shot, I was like, they're just normal size
They just
balls.
look like testicles.
There's no...
Yeah. Those
Yeah.
could have been my nuts.
They could have been anyone's nuts.
Proudly
I
say
should
that
have
they
put
look like
my
testicles.
nuts in there.
Yeah.
But it made me be like,
should have done a cameo.
Should we have designed some like pine cone sized prosthetic testicles just for this one shot?
Sure, I don't think it was
'cause
worth it. It
I would
would've
have
been
wanted
worth
to
it.
keep them.
Should have made
Yeah.
the hand
prop.
the hand holding it. You should have made a false smaller hand and
Like a baby.
yeah
arm.
yeah and the fly much smaller
Oh,
as
yeah.
well.
I did appreciate the nut shot. Just, you
I
know.
wasn't expecting it to actually happen. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the
you
thing.
know,
It's like, yeah, it builds it up and then it just
real-
like hits you afterwards.
it's a real Bruno moment. Yeah.
It's kind of like the Bart
Bruno
Simpson
Mars.
in the Simpsons movie.
Right.
You know when Bart Simpson's skateboarding in the Simpsons movie
Oh,
and
yeah.
everything's
Yeah.
It's
covering
rocking
his
his
dick, and
dick.
then right at the end it just shows it.
Yeah,
It's pretty much that.
that's a good one. That's like in an Auntie Donna sketch where they're bleeping out the F
Oh,
words,
yeah, they
but
start
then they
moving
just
the
start
bleeps.
moving the bleep
Yeah.
around the F word.
Should we talk through the plot of this movie just really quickly? Because we have a whole live show that
Yes.
I want to get to.
So
Yeah, okay.
China is in mourning.
It's China, 1983.
China
The
19
Berlin Wall has just come down, but it's in China.
you gotta also understand.
fell into China.
I'm feeling like most people that listen to this podcast won't have seen the movie, so I
Yeah.
feel like I don't know if we need to tell the plot.
Well, you just did, didn't you? Like, it's a zombie
you can get it
apocalypse.
done
The
pretty
tradies hide out in a telephone exchange,
Yeah.
and hilarity ensues. They're like, "Oh, we got to get out of here," and nothing like actually like eventuates. They just
Yeah.
try to get out there, and then
Some
everyone
of them
eventually
do, and some
dies.
of them don't.
Yeah.
So you got three comedians. You got Jim Jefferies, Greg Fleet, and Alex Williamson as your three main tradies. Early on in the movie, Jim Jefferies has Greg Fleet's wife in the back of his ute, and she's gone full zombie. And Alex Williamson shoots her and kills her. Then they go inside. They wait for Greg Fleet. Greg Fleet shows up with his teenage daughter. And then later on, a couple of apprentices come, and one of them is dating the teenage daughter. So there's like six main characters, and all those relationships are based on the people that I worked with. It's like literally the
You worked with Greg Fleet,
I
and
worked with.
And it would be great if we could get Greg Fleet to play the Greg Fleet character that is based on Greg Fleet.
You know what's funny though? So the characters are named after the people that I worked with. So in real life, I worked with a Darren,
Roy.
Troy.
Uh-huh.
Oh God, why can't I remember the other guy's name? Obviously, the character's name is Joel, so it's something really similar to Joel. Joe. Let's say Joe.
Mole.
Joel?
I think it was Mole.
I feel bad. 'cause
Hole?
he's-
Was it a hole?
Was it?
Was the other guy a
Courtney
hole?
Love?
Was it the band Hole?
Hole.
Was he always
I
singing the
feel
song
bad because it's
Malibu?
one of my friend's dads, and, and I can picture his face. Anyway, so yeah, instead of Darren and
Oh.
Troy, they're called Daryl and Roy.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is, if you look at the trailer on YouTube, I think Troy's daughter commented like one of these characters is based on my dad. Like you can see this comment in there, and I'm like, well, that's true. So, yeah.
What are some of the other comments on this video say?
Got him right here.
You're going to read comments from the trailer on YouTube, right?
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple of trailers on YouTube. I mean, I was looking at a lot of these
Upside down.
reviews because, I mean, one, it's interesting to see what people think, but I mean, YouTube comments, it's notorious for you getting real.
Nazis.
It's almost stream of consciousness based. It's.
And what's 2?
Oh, damn it.
You said 1.
Yeah, but I was looking on my phone, man.
You can't know. You cannot just make a list of 1.
Yeah, but
continue.
He does
Finish
it
your
all the
list.
time.
You
2.
can't. You cannot leave this
Yeah,
table until you finish your list.
2. I've got a comment right here.
Okay, you may leave the table now.
I thought
You don't
we
have
made
to.
the comments.
No, he's got to
on this
finish his
show.
vegetables.
Oh
first.
yeah, that's
Finish
the
your
third on the
fucking
list.
vegetables.
Now, I do have, like, it is really, like, ranged. There are people that really love it. Someone being a big fan of the line, I dabbled in meth and it didn't make me behave like this. I've chased people, but I didn't buy them not this hard.
Yeah, it's great.
Ha ha ha, fucking gold. And then,
Wait, you're just
Declan
reading.
shrub.
Alright,
So that's a quote
so-
from the movie.
Yeah, now we're at the point where Mitch is reading YouTube comments, quotes of the movie, and they're just like, ha ha ha.
well, like,
And the other thing is, you mentioned that line in the live podcast.
And you're going to play
and
it.
and you basically say that's your ha ha ha.
You capped it
moment.
off with a ha ha ha.
And
I
also,
actually made this
also,
comment.
yeah, that comment says Mitch Gosling 69.
because I like 69ing. So, yeah, the other one that I really liked was Matt Pop poo emoji ... And I don't know if this person knows Matt Pop.
It's not a compliment though. That
Yeah.
must be an insult. Matt Pop plays
Matt
one of
Pop
the
is
tradies.
shit in the movie, but is that based just on the trailer, or is that having watched the movie and then going back and being like,
This is
gotta
what I thought.
rate that one actor I didn't like?
It just seems like too oddly aggressive.
Tom Cruise shit in Mission Impossible.
Like if it's a friend, it makes sense. But if it's just someone who's like, Matt Pop shit, like just what? Where did that opinion come from?
And then, yeah, just I think the majority of these are Canberrans. You know, one of the zombie chicks is wearing a Brumbies jumper. How cool's that? Go the Brums.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's mainly just a cultural pride thing. And I think
I
that's
feel
a
like
fair
people
thing.
from Canberra are the only people that have seen this movie, as well as a few from Japan, which we can get into later.
And a few in Spain.
Yeah, that's true. So this movie was released in a small cinema release in Australia. It did play in every state, maybe in like 30 or 40 cinemas, just kind of in one-off screenings. It was released on DVD and home video and streaming and stuff in the UK and the US. Recently, it was put online in Japan in some sort of streaming platform there. It played in Spain once. It played in Germany once. It played in New Zealand once. So that's the extent of it. We could talk about the plot a bit because I do feel like we should mention Alex Williamson's character not only kills Roy's wife at the start, but he also has sex with Roy's daughter halfway through. And the main thing he cares about through the whole movie is trying to get onto Roy's cricket team. So normally if you kill the captain of the cricket team's wife and fuck their daughter, it's going to be hard to get on there. So he's torn between telling Roy the truth about what's happened and also trying to get on the cricket team. And that's another thing that goes for like an entire 90 minutes is like, I want to tell you something. Oh, but I can't tell you. And also, can I get a spot on that cricket team? And Roy like lords it over him and holds it over his head and keeps making him like, you know, do servanty type things to him because he knows he wants to be on that team. And the audience is hopefully watching and going, there's definitely not going to be an indoor cricket season this year because the entire world is like on fire.
I like that Daryl sort of takes a back seat as Roy's character is introduced as well. Daryl's like the protagonist at first, you think, but then he just turns into the dumb guy.
He's like a puppy dog or something.
Yeah, he just supports what goes on with Roy and his daughter, and then that just surprisingly becomes the main storyline. That's something I like about the movie.
Yeah, I did wonder who the main character was kind of like meant to be at a certain stage because it was like, the obvious heart of the story is Greg Fleet's character, and he gives a really good performance, like a shockingly good performance.
Yeah, from the moment he starts delivering lines, it kind of steps up a level.
But Alex Williamson has charisma that he could be that leading man type character. I think it is this thing where it kind of just like it's a very like gradual trade off of like our attention of like, all right, who are we kind of like rooting for?
Yeah.
And then it's just like, I guess these two, but rooting them for them to do what? I'm not really sure, because at a certain point you're like, so they're definitely not getting out of any of this.
Yeah. And they don't make a lot of effort to do so. They get too into the interpersonal relationships and just dealing with that. What I was going for was that Alex Williamson, he's older than the apprentices, but he's younger than the bosses. So he's stuck in this middle zone where he doesn't really know who he is or where he fits in. And so he kind of like follows Roy around and wants to, do good by his boss, but he's also like way immature and I don't know, always smoking weed and drinking and stuff. So he's like lost in this grey zone of like, who am I in this group? Everyone else seems to know who they are. There's Jim Jefferies and Greg Fleet. They're the bosses. They're the old guys with all the plans. And then there's the apprentices who are all like, sweet, it's apocalypse time. Let's arm ourselves and fuck people up and kill people because this is like video game world for us. And then he's just kind of in the middle.
Yeah, he's very much your sort of... I mean, if they're Thomas the Tank Engine characters, he's like Percy.
Very Percy. Yeah, definitely Percy.
And so what, Roy's the fat controller.
Roy's more of a James.
And then the apprentices are kind of like the
I found
passengers.
this TikTok channel. My TikTok algorithm's fucked now because like I just share with friends like people who have just gotten TikTok and like are posting like really bad like average videos. Anyway, I think I found like maybe like a 7-year-old kid who plays with Thomas the Tank Engine trains, and it's just him filming Thomas the Tank Engine trains like on the track, and I just keep getting videos by this kid. It's so funny. It's just a kid filming himself playing with trains. It's
Does
so
he at
funny.
least do a Ringo Starr impression?
He doesn't do anything. It's just like coming around the corner. It's the best. And then that's like intertwined with like people that are, like there's some rock dude who is like lip syncing to Nickelback songs in a real serious way and like using all the video effects and like, making it look like it was thunderstorming around his head while he's like singing to camera real seriously. It's got like 7 views. There's real niche stuff. It's great.
Speaking
So
of
yeah,
niche
I
stuff
liked
on
that better
TikTok,
than your movie.
There's the producer of this movie, Dan Sanguinetti, had a pretty popular TikTok recently.
Did he?
Yeah. He
like-
did one of us watching the movie as well, and he said it did good on Instagram fleets or something. I don't even
fuck
know
is
what's
that?
There's maybe it was Twitter fleets. There's just too
Is
many
it
of
like
these.
another TikTok rip-off kind of.
Yeah, too many of these like story disappears in 24 hours kind of social media things.
What
But
was his famous
Well,
TikTok?
he went to an arcade machine in an AMF bowling or some place like
yeah.
that, and there's one of
The
these
claw
ones.
machine.
Well, no, you cut a rope, and attached to the rope is a prize, and it cut the string, but the prize didn't drop, and he complained to the place and filmed
With
it.
TikTok going at the
yeah,
same
and
time.
filmed
Oh my
it,
gosh.
and then like notarized it and documented it and everything.
Yeah.
And the result got like 1 million views or something.
Wow.
And then the follow up to that got lots of views, and then that was it. Yeah, that was just it.
yeah, and I think it really got him hooked on TikTok because he was like, "Wow, this is the only thing I've ever created that's had 1 million views. I need to keep making TikTok content."
What
and of
was
course,
the prize?
it would have just been like a dumb toy, like a fluffy.
It was a head camera. What do you call it?
Like a GoPro or
Yeah,
something.
GoPro. That's
Okay.
what it was.
Wow.
There's a bit of value in that.
Yeah, there are some of those ones that have like iPads in them and stuff.
Yeah.
So what's his TikTok brand now? Just scamming arcades.
Well, it's a mixture of being a film producer and someone who runs like a small media company and just someone who's trying to go viral in their mid-30s.
Has he produced any other films since that one? Like, since yours?
Yeah, he did. He's making a movie, like a really low-budget movie called Alice that's a horror movie, and he's currently working on another one that I'm not meant to talk about. But they're filming one at the moment. It's also a horror movie.
Talk about it.
It's
Talk
Die
about it. No,
Hard
don't.
2.
No,
It's
Well,
Die Hard
what's the
2.
reason that you can't talk about it? Because it like
I don't think they've like publicly announced it and stuff. I think
Is
it's
it?
like-
I just think
Big deal?
it's a real problematic thing. There's a lot of Birth of a Nation kind of vibes. Very Cannibal Holocaust. A little bit of
Like it's real life snuff. That's Cannibal Holocaust. Yeah.
It's Louis C.K. doing his masturbation bit finally.
yeah. What's
doing
Dan
it.
Sanguineti's sick fascination with death? Well, let's talk about that.
Well, you had the chance to interview him on
true.
stage recently, and
Hey,
we have it
guys.
all recorded. Is this your Dan Sanguinetti?
What do you mean, my Dan Sanguinetti? It's me, Dan.
We're about to listen to
Uncanny.
half an hour of the actual man.
Half an hour.
in chunks.
Chunks.
But is there anything we want to say about this movie? I'm happy to say this is probably the worst looking and sounding movie we've had to watch for any of the podcast, I would say.
Oh, hold on.
I don't know.
I don't think that's true.
But I think it's also the cheapest.
yes.
I don't think it's the. I mean,
Definitely
I
the
think if I
cheapest.
had to say which one looked the worst, maybe because the budgets for most of the films that we've watched were in the millions.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and some of them look really, really nice.
Yeah.
But I certainly wouldn't say that this movie looks bad. It just doesn't
I
look as
would.
good as the other. Would you really?
Yeah.
I think it's inconsistent. Like that, there's
There are
parts.
shots that are really good.
Yeah,
too.
exactly. Some of them
The colors are
amazing.
really no. Seriously, man. Like there are shots that are really beautiful. I think even just
that-
like the shot of when Fleety's talking about
When he's on the phone at the
when
end.
he's
Yeah.
tearing up, like that
Yeah.
was-
And
that
in
looks
the
nice.
bathroom, sometimes the bathroom shots
Yeah.
look
Yeah,
really
some of the
good.
bathroom
That's
shots
because
are
that's a
nice.
real bathroom. Anything that's on the main set looks terrible to me.
But I think my point is
Unwatchably
There's
terrible.
this
Yeah.
one scene. Actually, there's a beautiful, beautiful shot of some testicles at one point. I really like.
oh yeah.
I
The
like
lighting
nuts, yeah.
just gleaning off the glands.
Yeah, it's so cool. It was sick.
Unfortunately,
It was just
stunt.
sick.
That's sick.
That's so sick.
So sick.
Maybe that's the way to get famous on TikTok. Testicles.
Can you have nudes on
Testicle.
TikTok?
Test
or is
a
it
TikTok.
family-friendly? 'Cause
Well,
otherwise it
I
would just be
certainly
filled
wouldn't
with
say
porn
it's
stars and
family
stuff.
friendly at all.
I
But
wouldn't put it past Mr. TikTok. I
No,
mean,
you can't
that
put it
man
on
is
TikTok.
wild.
You can only
Now
put
this
it
is
on
TikTok from
TikTok.
Diddy Kong Racing, right? This is like once you've beat all the time trials of
I
Diddy
never
Kong Racing.
played that game.
Oh,
People
you softy.
Also-
You
it.
big soft.
You
I
fucking
mean, all
soft
those
cock.
characters. What character? You got a crocodile on there.
Yeah,
That's
who
from,
are these
what
people?
What's he from? Conker's in there. I think
Is
that might
Conker in there?
Is Banjo
Oh, and Diddy
Kazooie?
Kong.
Oh,
Right.
you don't you
right.
I think Banjo you unlock him towards the end or something.
Oh, maybe you do.
Yeah.
Maybe you do.
I think Banjo's in
But
there.
there's just like
Was
some
Diddy
weird
Kong
guys
Racing a
in
rare
there.
thing? It wasn't. I don't think
I
Rare
played it
made
a
that
lot
one.
instead of Mario. We had
It
Diddy
was
Kong
on
Racing.
Oh, no,
N64.
Yeah,
you
some
mean
people
rare, though.
rare, as in like the company Rare.
Oh,
yeah,
yes,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
It is
yeah,
rare.
yeah.
Ah.
It was a rare
And you had
treat.
hoverboards. and you had
I was like, a lot of people had that game. It was pretty mainstream. And you're like,
But it was like it was sort of had like a story mode that I think is pretty well regarded.
Oh, yeah, you
we're
go into
now
different
talking about
worlds.
video
Yeah.
games.
Yeah.
Whiz Pig, you take on Whiz Pig and you have to beat him in races.
Right.
And then if you did all the time
Yes,
trials.
the classic
But it's
character
very
Whiz Pig
laggy, right? I mean,
from-
the you're moving around in the airplane and it's like
Yeah, a lot
juddery
of-
and stuff.
a
That's
lot
what
of
I
But
frame
that's
rate
why.
drops.
So you could go go-kart, then you'd go hoverboard, then you'd go
Hovercraft, my friend.
Hovercraft.
I didn't even play the fucking game, and I know it's not a hoverboard.
Wow.
Snowboard Kids too.
Oh, Snowboard Kids was great.
There's a lot of snowboarding games all around.
1080
the same time.
snowboarding.
1080.
Fuck
I
yeah.
watched- I played a
1080p.
bit of
They should
1080.
redo that and call it 1080p.
Fuck.
You know where I played the most 1080
1080p
snowboarding?
snowboarding.
Where?
Tubular.
In like a Kmart when you had a N64 behind like a glass case
hell
and you
yeah.
could just go and play them. That was I spent like an hour playing
Hell
1080
yeah.
snowboard.
I used to take CDs into a Dick Smith's and use their CDJs for like 2 hours to teach myself to DJ. And the guy would get the shits with me because like it needed a special like lock at the back of the CDJ
yeah.
to get the CDs out, and I just keep going back to him. Like, hey, can you get the CD? I want to swap.
Declan, do you remember the guy Davis Wheeler with the googly eye?
Davis Wheeler music.
I used to go in there every time my sister
make
had a
fun of
piano
him.
lesson and just make fun of him. No, I used to like play all the different guitars
yeah,
like
yeah,
for half an hour every single time at the same time because
Yeah.
Lauren was having a piano lesson, and then one day he just walked over and was like, "Hey, you ever gonna buy anything?" He just looked at me, smiled at me with his googly eye, and then I just never went back.
It is
there.
funny because you're 14 years old. You're not going to
No,
buy that
absolutely
$10,000 Les Paul. Stop playing it.
Yeah. Yesterday I went we had our work Christmas party due, and it was like a winery tour, and there was this guy driving the bus, it's like sort
But
of.
now I'm driving the bus.
He's like
Balls.
You get on the bus. He's like introduces himself. He tells you which wineries you're going to. Then he drives you there. And then as you're getting off, he's like, "So this is this winery, and everybody get off, and we'll have an hour here." Anyway, we're sitting there, having our tasting and stuff, and having our lunch. And he's like interjecting over the top of the woman that runs the winery, trying to like say, "Hey, maybe you should do the tasting in this order or something." And she's just like, "No, what the fuck, you bus driver? What are you trying to do?" Anyway. About half an hour into our lunch, he like finds an acoustic guitar at the back of the hall and picks it up and starts like playing like Smoke on the Water. But like the guitar is like quite badly out of tune. It was terrible.
Was he doing the one string Smoke?
No. He was playing some chords,
yeah.
but like it was bad. It was real bad.
When in Rome.
Yeah.
And she did walk up to him and say, "You're going to buy anything," referring to the wine. as well.
Yeah.
And she was all googly-eyed from all the wine she'd been drinking. Tell you what.
All right, so back to the
How
movie.
funny are people's eye stigmatisms, though?
It's the one disability you can still make
You can
fun
still
of.
make fun of it.
Because they can't.
Because they can't hear you. They can't hear you.
I can tell you another story from last night. We went to a bar and there was a guy who was very, very into his drink making, and he told me that he was going for head barman or whatever the fuck it was at Kokomo's. But he had one of his eyes was off center. One of his eyes was pointing this way.
He's
Sorry.
not going to be
These
making
people
drinks.
live in our city.
I know.
Stop talking
I'm
about
not
it.
making fun of him. I'm just saying, when we're
Don't
talking
hire
about
that
people
guy,
with fucking
yeah.
weird eyes.
They shouldn't hire him at Kokomo's. I know what you're saying.
Kokomo sucks. No, it was all right.
Hey, remember when that guy got stabbed out the
Yeah,
front?
there was
That's
a
crazy.
bikie leader that got
bikie.
stabbed and killed there recently.
Yeah.
And he had no eyes.
Anyway, to
Not
cap the
at
night
the end
off,
of it.
we ended up at assembly, and then I went to the bathroom, and then I woke up about 5 minutes later in the alleyway.
Oh,
really?
no.
Yeah,
That's rough.
You have one too many.
I guess so. It's never happened before.
Wait, was this last night?
Yeah, I just woke up. I was like, sat on a milk crate in the alleyway, and one of the guys from work was like, Hayden.
Oh, shit.
I'm like,
you fully
oh, fuck, what the
passed
hell?
out.
He's like, dude, mate, you all right? I'm like, yeah. Yeah, I mean, no, but yeah. I'm like, I guess I better go
was.
home.
Wow.
And then I was, yeah.
Would you say that your last night in 8 words?
You know what it was? I was
Would
waiting
be-
for a cubicle to vomit.
Oh, yeah.
And so I'm like leaning up against a wall waiting because cubicles are being used. I'm like, fuck, man, I really need it. Fucking, this is not good. And then I don't remember anything after that. So I must have just leant against the wall for too long and fallen asleep.
Jeez.
How do you know it was only 5 minutes? Or your friend just tell you?
Oh, I don't know. I don't actually know. I can't imagine it was long. Like people coming in and out of that toilet, someone's going to be like, why is there a fucking dude just like on the ground?
Yeah.
And someone's like, hey, does anyone know this dude? He's dead.
It was so weird, man. Pretty,
No, I feel
pretty
like people
embarrassing.
could just walk past that situation.
Yeah, many probably would. Yes. What I'm thinking, and I don't know if this is true, I'll have to go back to assembly and find out.
Ask for the CCTV footage.
Yes, and then also, I think where you go to the bathroom, right? There's also like a staff exit out into the alleyway through there. So I'm praying that like they picked me up and took me out that way. And not through like past all my colleagues and stuff. So like just carrying passed out Hayden out of the
You could just say you saw something really scary.
I got spooked.
Yeah. Is it less embarrassing?
Oh, it's not embarrassing at all. Who gives
but
a
like
shit?
when you come out of it, if you're just like, oh yeah, there was like the craziest ghost.
I saw a
dude.
ghost.
You've just never seen anything like it. Anyone who saw it would pass out immediately. In fact, it's cool to do that, right? High fives all around, please.
I saw the Kokomo's ghost and it looked
Oh, dude.
looked at me and his eyes were all going everywhere.
That's right. Googly eye
Do
ghost.
we believe in ghosts as a society? Because I feel like we pretend we do. We have
I
astrology
think we want
in the
to.
newspaper.
We all want to, don't
Yeah.
we? Don't we want to believe?
But do we
Don't
actually?
we
Like,
People really do want to. You say like, yeah, but like,
Well, I mean, there
and they're
was.
like, well, thousands of years ago, people were dying and people saw a ghost, and now I've seen a ghost.
Yeah.
So
I think
That's the thing.
Everybody has the attitude of like, but don't you have one of those times that you just can't explain, and
Yeah,
everybody
yeah.
expects you to just like, I'll buy into that. It's like, no, I don't. I
If someone's
literally
like,
don't.
no, actually, when I was at my grandma's house, I was sneaking around the attic and I was 7 years old and I saw something that I could not explain. And I'm just like, well, it wasn't a ghost because we know that ghosts aren't real.
yeah, I remember Actually, there was this one time that I was at my grandpa's house, and it was really scary because I was like 4 years old and unaccompanied and in an unfamiliar surrounding, and my senses were heightened because it was late at night, and I'd also drunk too much water and had too much sugar during the day as well. And so, like, anything that I heard or saw was going to like freak me the fuck out, and I would jump to conclusions. Anyway, I just passed out. I just fell right asleep.
There's actually
I saw nothing.
Yeah, I saw nothing.
You guys are joking, but actually, last night I was in the bathrooms at Assembly, and I saw a ghost.
Kokomo's ghost?
I saw Kokomo's googly-eyed ghost.
Was it the ghost of the
He's like, hey, you want a cookie?
Wait, is that the Cookie Monster?
Kokomo Monster.
The
The Coco Monster.
This guy who tragically passed in Kokomo's. He just really liked the Cookie Monster. I don't want to be that guy, but I did have. I for a long time I was telling like a story, like a ghost story, that I really believe.
Oh, I'm not closed off to the idea of ghosts or spiritual.
I'm
not
100% closed off.
I'm not closed off, but I haven't personally experienced anything, and I love hearing.
I do
people's
love
experiences.
that if you told a long like Halloween story and you're like, and I was there and the door just opened and I saw this figure in the darkness and I turned the light on and obviously nothing was there because again, ghosts are not real. People, please.
The other thing is, my girlfriend has a podcast called Creatures of Yord. You should check it out. It is
What's
a
it called?
ghost-based
Declan, you need to
podcast.
guest. You need to
It's
guest
called
on this
what?
podcast.
Creatures of Yord.
Of Yord.
Yeah.
What's a Yord?
I don't know what a Yord is,
Okay.
but
I mean, you know what a truly rotten potato is.
should know. It sounds, they talk about different ghosts from around the world. And quick plug for that, as we talk about a ghost.
Tell us your goat story.
I was in...
Oh, I believe in goats. Is that what we're talking
Yeah.
about?
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
I assume that's what we were talking about. the
No,
whole
they're-
time.
they're-
I've
they're
had
real.
times where I'm trying to sleep at night and I've seen a figure in the darkness and it was a goat.
Yeah.
I in my first job, which was Tuggeranong Hoyts, which we watched, me and my mates.
That's where we
at
were.
The same venue. It's called Limelight now, and I was cleaning a cinema, and there was an audio issue. It was like a Black Eyed Peas song. I remember this really well. All the lights were on, and then it was like a Black Eyed Peas song. There was an audio error. And I thought I heard someone murmuring, and I thought I saw someone like wearing a like red shirt behind me, and I was like, "Oh, sorry, the cinema's closed." And then it like fucked up, and just like you could hear the audio had just like blown out, and then I turned around and no one was there, and I don't know. I nearly started crying. I ran out. I like cleaned up all the popcorn and ran out. And then the next time I cleaned that theater because I was like, I don't want to do it, man. I don't want to do it. I'm like, you have to. It's your job. A guy ran in there with a whistle. And gave me like a little boy fright. I was like, no. That's my little ghost story.
Don't you think that if ghosts were real and confirmed, it would be a part of known human existence where you would be like, oh yeah, there's ghosts all the time, they do stuff. And if they're not, then if you saw one, you could be like, well, you can't actually do anything to me.
Well, that's exactly
you're
right.
just like a spirit and you can't touch me or physically do anything. You can stay in my house and watch me, and that's
Yeah, but you don't know that that's the truth with ghosts because you've never met one. Maybe they can fuck you up.
But don't you think that would be like really well known if that was happening all the time? That you'd be like, man, this ghost fucking punched me in the face, kicked me in
Didn't
the
even
dick."
hurt.
The way
I see what you mean, yeah.
The way I rationalize the possible existence of ghosts is that, you know, within our hearing range, we can hear 20 hertz to 20,000 hertz. Certain animals can hear beyond that spectrum. That applies to things that we can see and that we can sense in any way. And there are possibly spectrums and things that we will never or very rarely get insight into. And it's very hard to capture that in any sort of documentation or data and spread that and popularize it or even register a pattern because it's so rare. But
Right.
I've never experienced anything like that. I'm just open to that as a possibility.
So it would
I even
be
saw a ghost last night.
You calling
So-
me? You calling
I'm
me?
saying-
Are you saying you're open to that?
I'm open to ghosts. I thought you said goat, though.
Yeah, no, there was a goat in
There's
the
always
bathroom.
goats roaming
I
around.
believe I
already
passed
did that
out.
one.
So shit. What a lame wad I am.
I'll go back to that one.
All right, we did live
well
stuff.
off ghosts.
But
We're back onto zombies. I
A
guess.
zombie's real.
Yeah. I do want to get into the live bit. I've cut it into little chunks so we can just
Can
listen.
I just
in, like,
say on
2
the
or 3
zombie
minutes.
thing, like, so I started playing Xbox recently, and I never had an Xbox. And I'm trying to find like good games to play. Like I've always been a Nintendo guy, so it's like I'm trying to look at like nice high definition games that I've never played before because I've never had one of these things. There are too many games about zombies.
Yeah.
I guess everything's just about shooting other things, and I kind of sure that's a genre of gaming, but why is it? I don't want to shoot gross zombie things.
Well, it's
fucking
interesting
shit.
because I used to have an Xbox, but now it's my Xbox.
That's really good. And it is interesting as well.
And it is interesting.
That's really interesting.
And germane to everything you just said.
And Jermaine?
And
Well,
germane.
there, you know
Brett.
what?
Left 4 Dead 2 is good.
There was just a time, Left 4
Wait,
Dead, that was sick.
I just
There was
don't
a
like
time
zombie
where
things, generally
zombies were
speaking.
on the up and up, which is when you made this movie. Or wrote it at least, right?
Yeah, pretty much. It was like the early days of The Walking Dead. Soon after, before our movie came out, I think World War Z came out.
Yeah.
Which was a big worldwide zombie movie. And then after that, The Walking Dead had like 14 seasons or something and a few
Yeah.
spin-offs. And then
I
there's
don't
a million
like
other
zombies.
shows. Yeah.
I don't understand them. I don't understand them either. Like, what's
You don't understand
like
what are they doing?
Is zombie lore the same across all zombie?
Nah.
Well, zombies
like,
aren't
different
scary.
types.
Zombies aren't scary, are they?
This is the
Like,
the
why are they always like bloody and flesh eaten and stuff?
So
like,
there's
Not always.
They're
not always.
There's the risen undead, which is the original, like literally like people coming out
Uh-huh.
of graves.
And
then-
what causes them to come out of their graves?
I don't know, magic.
Lightning.
Well, the-
it's
Ultraviolet
usually, no, it's
rays?
usually lightning.
The first
5G.
The first movie,
China.
I think it was
Night of the Living Dead?
Night of the Living Dead, which was using before that, like undead was like voodoo
Yeah.
things.
It's like
and-
African folklore kind of stories.
and
Wait,
then-
are zombies dead? And then
Night
they
of
come
the
back.
Living
Not in your
Dead.
movie, they're not.
Not in mine, but in other ones
No,
they are.
yours they're
But is
called
the-
rotters.
Yeah,
and
rotters are
they
goddess.
more of a
They have a
hive mind.
virus.
Yeah, they
In
have a
the
virus.
George Romero movies, those were the living dead.
They were
That-
rising from their graves, and then they were like, "We need to get
Can-
away," and the dead were just coming back. And then in the remake, it was that hell had frozen over.
Yeah.
which I like.
Can you call something a zombie if it wasn't a dead thing and then came back to life? Isn't that not a zombie? It's an
you can.
infected.
And well, they talk about it in the movie. One of the characters keeps saying, "Stop calling them zombies. They're not technically zombies." In this movie, they're just like really sick, infected people that are dying, and they become like they kind of lose brain function.
Well,
and
how
that
do you
kind of
think
stuff.
they feel about being dubbed zombies? I mean,
Yeah.
it's on the posters, it's on the DVD case.
Yeah, why
it's-
would you call it Me and My Mates versus Zombie Apocalypse?
like that's like calling a dwarf a midget? You know,
Just-
like
Yeah, it's ableist language, isn't it?
not
Because
the
you're like,
correct
hey, I'm just a
categorization.
guy with an infection, like a airborne pathogen that's taken over my brain.
you're
I'm
conflating
not
two things.
dead yet.
And in what sense are they mates? And who is the me?
that just
And who
means-
is me?
That would be the Daryl character played
Okay.
by Alex Williamson.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
And then all the other characters would be the
his
mates, I
mates,
guess.
yeah.
Yeah.
Mates, yeah.
I think that part tracks pretty
That
well.
was pretty obvious.
And what's to do with vampires then?
Speaking of, all right, here we go. Because the very first question that Mitch asks in this live show is about the title of the movie. So everybody, let's hit it.
I'm Mitch. This is Hayden, Morgan, and this is Declan, who actually
Yeah.
directed the movie, Me and My Mates versus Zombie Apocalypse.
But today I'm just part of the podcast show.
Who is
Interviewing our guest.
I'll put you
Oh,
here.
yeah, so I'm going to get ganged up on
And our very special guest, Dan Sanguinetti, who produced
the film.
the film.
Yeah.
And did many other things.
What's the film called, Dan?
Dead Exchange.
That's the original title.
That's the working title.
Yeah, see?
It's a lot shorter and sweeter and easier to remember.
But yeah, Me and My Mates versus Zombie Apocalypse. That was my idea.
Do you think that's too long of a title now that you've had to say it out loud for 6 years straight?
No? Well, maybe. Mates versus Zombies has kind of evolved into what it's become, so maybe.
First question for you.
Yeah.
Why would you let a 24-year-old make this movie, and why would you commit tens of thousands of dollars and 3 years of your time to it?
I think
That's
there's
a
some
serious
inaccuracies
question.
there. I think we're talking about hundreds of thousands of dollars and more like, I don't know, 8 years of our time. I think it's been longer than that. But why? I saw something in you, kid. I saw something. It was just, there was a spark. There was a little thing in the eye, and I was like, hey, this kid can go far.
How did you two meet?
Oh, yeah, Declan should tell this story because it was I asked you to help out in a production office.
We met before that. The first time we met was you borrowed a piece of gear from me. And so I had a camera stabilizer shoulder mount thing, and you came and hired it from me for $100, and I only paid $70 to buy it.
That's how I work. I was investing in your future.
That was the first time I took money from you, and certainly not the last.
So I like that original title, Dead Exchange. I think that's a better title. And is it true what Dan Sanguinetti says there, that Me and My Mates versus the Zombie Apocalypse, that title is his idea?
We came up with a list of like 20 titles because Dead Exchange was the original one, because a lot of zombie movies have dead in the title, and so it would put you in that pantheon. But I just didn't like it because they're in a telephone exchange, but it just sounds like a dead exchange is like, I don't know, some sort of purgatory or something. It didn't really make sense to me. People don't know what a telephone exchange is generally anyway, so I never wanted to call it that. And then, we wanted something that said like Aussie, zombie movie, and comedy. And so we came up with Me and My Mates versus the Zombie Apocalypse. But I've said that out loud so many times that it's like, and I've had to type it a billion times in my life.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, next time it's going to be short movie. Just one word titles, please.
Yeah.
But it's very findable. Like, it's the only thing that's
Yeah.
remotely called that. So
But it means like if someone's writing a review or if they're doing anything, it's just annoying.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so we called it Mates vs. Zombies all the time. The website was matesvszombies.com. The hashtag was Mates vs. Zombies. Like, we just kept it like
Did you
that.
consider calling it Zombie Cunts?
That was
Oh,
literally on the list.
Oh,
no
really?
joke, yeah.
What about zombies! Exclamation point.
That was on the list as well.
Right,
Like,
there
I'm
you
not
go.
joking.
Wow.
Are you joking?
The one of the ones was Telstra.
I like that. Telstra.
Yeah.
Mitch, what did you think of that clip as a whole?
I liked it.
Yeah, cool.
It was your intro.
How did you guys feel standing up in front of an audience of billions?
Name me up.
Yeah, that was a packed house. Never seen so many people in one area.
You had a good
During
amount
COVID.
of people.
There were a number of people there,
Yeah.
but
That's a good number.
I was very anxious about it, especially considering I don't think any person in the audience understood what our podcast was or why suddenly
Oh, yeah.
3 random additional dudes were getting up with the guy that made the movie.
It made it easier when I was like, I'm just going to run around with this microphone.
Yeah.
Don't look at me.
We had
I
other
might
stuff going
chime
on.
in.
I think it was a spectacle for them, and they obviously enjoyed it, I guess, although they wouldn't have left.
Yeah.
Now, did anybody walk out during the movie or during the Q&A
I
at
think
all?
I saw a
A couple
guy.
left
Yeah.
before the Q&A.
I saw like
a guy
one person in
leave
the
during
first 5
Q&A.
minutes, maybe.
Like, actually just walk out.
I think so. I think he was just like, this is not for me.
I don't want this. I'm out.
I've got this one memory of doing a screening in Belconnen. The other thing is this is because it was 5 years ago. It was a 5th year anniversary. That's why we held this live recording. But I had this one screening in Canberra where I introed the movie or whatever, and then I sat outside and we had like a little table and we were selling posters and DVDs and stuff. And like 45 minutes into the movie, this guy came out. Now, this isn't important to the story, but just so you can picture what I'm picturing, he was a dwarf. It was like a little person.
What were his eyes like?
Not googly, just
Not
standard.
interested.
Yeah.
You say normal?
No, I didn't say
No,
that.
I'm saying, would you say normal?
I
If you were
avoided
pressed
that.
to.
If I was pressed to, who knows what I would do under duress? I mean, I might even kill my own dad or something
Oh my
if I was
God.
pressed to. How hard are you pressing?
Just
Anyway, the point is, he walks up to
Night
me.
of the Living Dad.
He knows that I introduced, like that I made the movie because I did an intro. I'm sitting there with my table of posters, and he just goes, "How much longer do you reckon this one's got to go?" And I was like, 45 minutes, like it's halfway. And he was like, okay. And he went to the bathroom, and I was like, I think that is the harshest criticism I've ever had to face. Like, I've read all the bad reviews and stuff. They don't really bother me, but like having someone ask me how long is left to go is just like,
That's
I'm not enjoying this, and I want
that's
to know, like,
painful.
I've gone to the bathroom, and how long do I have to like sit through this?
I like that.
That's nicer than just him leaving.
No, it's not. If he left, I'd be like, he had somewhere to go.
You should have said to him, it's shorter than you might think.
Speaking of big regrets, this next part of the podcast is me asking producer Daniel Sanguinetti about the biggest regrets of making the movies, and we talk a little bit about how we got Jim Jefferies. Take a listen. What are your biggest regrets or things that if you look back at the film, you're like, man, we fucked that up?
There's a ton of stuff. Like killing Jim Jefferies so soon after spending so much money.
Yeah.
We should have like found ways to keep him in.
Yeah.
I mean, Jim was a major coup.
That's what I was going to ask about. How did you get in touch with Jim? That was the first time I'd seen Jim in anything as well. And he was
Yeah,
really great.
well, it was all because we had a, what would you say, like a holy trinity or a devil threesome? I don't know. But you got Alex, Greg Fleet, and Jim Jefferies all had the same manager. And that's basically the big secret on how we got Jim Jefferies on, because we were like, he wanted to make more money, I guess. He put his clients forward and Declan liked them. I mean, we went to the Melbourne Comedy Festival to meet with comedians to try and work out who could fit. And I believe, was it Dave Reed that we did consider?
Dave O'Neill.
Oh, Dave O'Neill. Who's Dave Reed? I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's just a friend of yours.
Oh, okay. Well, he was considered for the role. But then, Dave O'Neill, that's right. Because we went and watched his comedy show at
in Queanbeyan.
Yeah. And then we asked him, and then he told us, nah.
Yeah.
Not interested.
So what was Jim Jefferies like to work with, Dan? And it's been 6 years, so I think everyone involved is long dead. So you can say whatever you want. These people paid money to come see this 5 years afterwards. I think you tell them the truth.
I was scared of him the whole time. I mean, I spent a lot of money to bring him to Australia. There was not just the $10,000 flight that he demanded to, you had to be first class, had to be Virgin Airways, it had to be all these little things.
Rest in peace.
Yeah, and then you got the hotels, and then he had expectations of obviously, I mean, that's what, famous people want. They have expectations, and you got to meet it and find it.
Was he famous at this point? Was he?
Yeah, look, he was. He had quite a following. He had done his first season of Legit. Yeah. So it was just coming out just this week, and he was doing press. No, he was working on the second one.
Yeah, he finished season 2 like a couple days before he came. Yeah,
to filming it. Yeah, so he had, and I mean, in England he's huge. Like he was huge already. So
he'd had an HBO special, and I think he'd had one Netflix special as well. So he was on the up. Yeah. Yeah.
So we got him at the right time, because after that he would have been completely inaccessible.
He's from Sydney, and we basically were like, come to Canberra for, I think we had him for 9 shooting days right after the New Year. And then you can come see your family for Christmas, come film our movie for 2 weeks, and then go back on tour. He was about to do a national tour of America and stuff. So we just squeezed him in, basically.
Yeah.
He was actually, the character was meant to come back as a zombie. Like, he was meant to kind of get blown off and then have one leg and be a zombie. And then they were going to shoot him, and there was going to be this whole scene where it was like, oh, you just shot Joel. No, I didn't. That wasn't Joel. Yeah, it was. And they're going through his stuff, and they're like, look, it's his ID card and stuff. And they're like, oh, well, we got to move on anyway. That was one of the things. We found out way later that was one of the reasons he signed on to do it.
To do that.
Come back as a zombie and get all the makeup and stuff and get to do a thing. And
we cut it because he was only around for 2 weeks. Yeah. It was that was going back to the biggest mistake. That was a huge mistake to have made.
I'm in upper class, high society. God's gift to ballroom notoriety. And I always fill my ballroom, the event is never small. The social pages say I've got the biggest balls of all. I've got big balls, I've got big balls, and there's such big balls, and there's such big balls. He's got big balls, and she's got big balls.
I've muted Morgan's
That's terrible.
Yeah, that was that sounded like Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Yeah, Blonde Scott's doing a little Rocky,
doing a bit of character. All right, well, let's just jump straight into the next clip. This is the worst memory of Jim Jefferies and some of the filming troubles. I'll tell you the worst memory I have of Jim Jefferies is maybe a month before we were going to shoot. I talked to him on the phone, and he was in America, and we were talking about the character and the role and what he's going to do. And I just remember him saying, "Look, man, I don't mind about any of that. I just want the movie to get good reviews." And I was like, "Oh man, you've signed up to the wrong movie."
Was there not an expectation of something like that? I mean, what kind of hopes did you guys have when you got it off the ground and it was coming together?
I hoped we would have made some money. That would have been nice.
You've mentioned money a lot tonight.
Well, I am the producer. I am. It's my job.
Yeah, fair.
I had people I was trying to look out for who gave us money so that I could pay crew and pay the cast and all the expenses. It's filmmaking's not cheap.
I find that when you're making something like this, the barrier, like the high bar, starts before you're shooting, and you're like, this is going to be crazy and good, especially when you get the actors and stuff, and then you're like, oh, we don't have enough money to do that. We don't have enough time to do that. We're losing shots. There's like the whole ending scene where they're like in the shadows and they're having that fight like right at the end. Half of that was rained out, and so we had to shoot it on different days, and we didn't have like half our extras and all this stuff. So like it's really like a hodgepodge of different stuff stuck together. And so you go from like this is going to be great to like hopefully this is good to like can we just finish this? Can we make sure we have something at the end of this that makes like a modicum of sense? And I hope that it's there. But even watching it, I'm like, man, this movie has a lot of people saying, what's the plan? Where are we going to get the plan? Who's got the next plan? For like an hour. I'm like, wow. That is true. There's a lot of plan talking in that movie, and it drove me crazy. And I think watching it, the lack of plot really shined through. And the fact that it was so poorly directed, and the set was kind of so cheap, and the camera work was like just not Hollywood cinematic, that was the hardest part to watch for me watching it back. But the characters and like the dialogue somehow chugged it along for me.
Yeah.
So it's like this weird, like, oh man, that stuff's really bad, and then this stuff is like good enough to still make it somewhat watchable. That's my opinion.
You skimmed over. I know because I remember being there and what we said right after that part as well. We segued into talking about ghosts and spirituality.
No, well,
and
this was after 10 minutes of the
China.
audience chanting for me.
Oh yeah,
So,
Yeah, I cut that out.
Let Hayden keep talking. Yeah, woo.
right. Maybe we'll play that at the end.
Yeah.
But you told that fantastic story about the ghost on set, Declan, that time, and I just wondered how you like.
Okay, so what you're doing here is you're trying, and I don't believe in the improv mantra of yes and. I believe in ruining
No,
the joke
but.
to your face and saying no but, which is you're trying to say to me now, who just went on a long anti-ghost rant, and I apologize to any ghosts.
So it's not just
out
that you
there.
don't believe in them, but you're against them.
I'm non-pro ghost.
I'm GoPro
So I
Ghost.
don't believe.
Hi guys, it's Hayden. Welcome to the GoPro Ghost. Here I am in
in a dark room with a GoPro on my head, waiting for a ghost.
Yeah, well, I'm
So
John.
far, no ghosts have shown up, but stay tuned to the GoPro Ghost. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe and follow my Twitter channel, Twitter/GoPro Ghosts.
I also have a
1080.
second YouTube channel where I give self-help to all the freaks out there that are having bad drug addict
Whoa,
problems.
here comes a ghost. Fuck.
GoPro Ghost. Yeah, well, I'm John Cleese Van Damme.
Yeah, there we go. And? No,
I can't expand upon it. It's a name. It's a name, and that's all
John
it is.
Cleese
at this
Van
point.
All right,
Damn.
what was John Cleese's wife's name in Fawlty Towers?
Connie Booth was the
Okay.
actress.
Sybil.
What's
Sybil.
Sybil? Okay, so he'd be like, "Oh, Sybil, I've got to spin kick your head off.
Yeah.
I'm John Cleese Van Damme."
He
You gotta say their name.
He
You gotta
was
say
always
their
saying his name in Faulty Towers.
Manny, get me the bioterrorists off this train.
It's no good.
All right, let's listen to the next part of the podcast. This is where Morgan.
So because we have a podcast and
Yes.
our podcast has like a certain tone to it, I was trying to take the piss out of
Sanguinetti?
Sanguinetti a little bit and sort of like and that's a hard thing to do because I knew no one in the audience knew the podcast or the way that we behave on our podcast.
Yeah.
And I was like, well,
What do
I
you
don't
stop
want this to be disingenuous.
Stop
I
with
want-
the tone. We want the people listening to this to think everyone came to hear us talk. We had a sold out show for our first live podcast.
And we roasted old salad
we
fingers
gave-
Sanguinetti.
Declan, I had to pay $10 to come to the podcast.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
I charge
we all had to pay.
podcast. You guys owe a lot.
We had to pay to record that one.
No, there's no fooling anyone into thinking that they were there for us.
Yeah.
But it was hard to walk a line of like not
Being
wanting
funny
to
as
betray
yourself.
myself because I wanted to try and
And
be
you betray
podcast.
yourself every time you walk into that office
That's true.
and take money from that company.
No, that's not true.
BHP.
Yeah, well, that's true. But then at the same time, I didn't want to fucking alienate the hundreds of people in the audience by being
Thousands.
I had
maybe,
I
but
had
yeah.
this moment where I was like, man, I'm really gonna like take him to task, or just like I don't know, not take him to task. Be like, man, more like Daniel Salmonella. You know,
Yes.
I kind of wanted to
stinky.
alien ant farm him. But I didn't figure out what that was.
But what you were talking? Can we talk about money or?
Yeah.
Was it,
What's your favourite
you
amount?
just-
What's your
did you
favourite
just-
amount
I don't
of
know if
money?
it was a joke when that was playing just then. You said that his family funneled a bunch of money into the movie.
Didn't
No, they funded
they
it.
funded the movie.
funneled it?
Funnel
Funnel
sounds so
yeah,
underground.
I
it's
know.
nefarious.
Yeah.
But like, why did they see a return on that? Did they see an ROI?
I would say nobody who put any money into it saw any money back.
Yeah,
So,
okay.
no. So that's
Feel
why
bad.
he went.
Now I feel bad
yeah.
for his family.
And that's why we still charge them $10 for the 5th year anniversary screening.
$20 to the general audience.
Yeah.
just for
But
perspective.
like, it didn't break his family.
I
though,
imagine
right?
that it all went because it was. I mean,
You don't care.
it did get on
I
board.
did not say I don't care. My family are in on this too, all right?
Yeah.
But no, it was not a profitable venture. But I don't think no one lost their house over it. They just lost a lot of savings, you know.
Yeah.
That's
How
what
much
savings
you
are
reckon?
for.
Let's talk numbers.
Well, how much was the entire budget?
Talk
Now,
trash.
how much did you guys have to put in each, like outside? Because I know you got a lot of funding.
Well, no, we actually didn't get that much. I would say the government funding was like 20%. Like the rest of
Really?
it. Yeah,
Whoa.
we got
But wasn't that hundreds of thousands of dollars?
no, we got 120,000 from the government.
Hundred of thousands of dollars.
Yeah, and then we got a $15,000 grant from one of the arts bodies.
Grant Denyer?
I wish he charged
Grant
more,
Hackett?
He changes more 15.
Now, Grant Daniel walked out halfway through the movie
Yeah.
and he said,
That's right.
How much longer is
much
it?
How much
is this
longer
movie?
is it? He's like, oh, don't worry.
I didn't know Grant Denyer was a midget.
Whoa,
Sorry.
we
Yeah.
didn't go there.
bleep
With a
that,
googly
bleep that.
eye.
You got that Google eye. Hey, he hosts Just Cuts now.
Yeah, he does.
The host of it.
Yeah, they've got life-size cardboard cutouts of him at Just Cuts, and he's quite small, so they're not very big.
Remember when Grant Denyer hosted National Bingo?
That rings
National
a bell.
Bingo. Do you mean National Keno?
National
No,
Keno?
no, there was like a
he
TV
did like
show, wasn't there?
yeah, it
with
was
the
like
Bingo Live.
Australia-wide bingo.
Forget about bingo. I want bongo.
Bingo bongo.
Oh, Rastafari.
I got a Grant Denyer story. My friend had when I was in high school or college, we call it here in Canberra. A friend of mine was like talking about how he had like photos of Grant Denyer up in his bedroom because he found it. I don't know. I guess he was all over some like super cheap auto magazine, like advertising material that he got delivered to him. You know, junk mail. And it's like, yeah, I just stuck him up all over my room because I think it's funny. But I didn't really. For some reason, there was a guy that we would often make fun of at our school, and his name was Grant. And for some reason, I thought that he had photos of this guy up all over his walls in his house. But then when I discovered it was Grant Denyer, I was disappointed. It's not a very good story.
But
Really.
why would
Should have saved that one for in front of the audience.
But why did he decide to put so many Grant Denyers up?
I don't know,
Was
'cause he
just
thought
like
it
a
was
weird
funny.
thing? Yeah.
Well, that was pretty
This is
offensive.
the same guy who went around school and like posted up National Door Safety Week posters on like doors.
Is that satirical or is
It was
that?
just meant to be funny, yeah.
Okay, yeah,
Like
cool.
people confused.
Well,
by
I
it.
find that offensive. And this next part of the podcast, Morgan asked Dan and I, like, what it feels like to watch
Wait, Dan and I or Goldeneye?
Dan and I.
Ah.
The
007?
because it is a really offensive movie, and now it's 5 years later, and it seems more offensive. So that's what this.
Wait,
next
can I
bit
try
is
and guess
about.
exactly how I phrased the question?
Yeah, go.
Is this the midget thing?
What is up with all these things that he's done?
is up?
And why is it got to be like offending?
All right, let's see how it really sounded.
How do you feel about, both of you actually, how do you feel about listening back to some of the lines of dialogue 5 years later? And,
Yeah.
And also,
Well, I look, from my point of view, I've grown a lot. I thought it was, hilariously funny back then. I think some of it might not fit right for 2020 onward, I'll happily admit it.
I will say that there's a few choice lines that 5 years does a lot.
Yeah,
I think.
I'll admit, times have changed very quickly, and I wouldn't necessarily push for some of those lines in future movies. It just wouldn't make sense.
I found it refreshing.
You're like that old guy. It's like, remember when we used to sexually harass women in the office? What happened to that? Why can't we do that anymore?
I'll tell you, that rape joke got a huge laugh from the whole audience.
Yeah.
And again.
Yeah, I think the word retarded, like every time I heard that, I was like, you just don't say that anymore. Things change so much in 5 years. Like, I don't think 5 years ago... Yeah, I know. And he does get called out for it a lot as well, that I think makes it okay. Like, other characters, like, you can't say that to him all the time. But, yeah, I do think that, like, 5 years ago... people weren't getting cancelled as much for offensive things, and like now it's like way risky. And there's definitely things in there that I'm like,
I mean, this is the thing. It's their brand of comedy. I mean, if you follow Alex Williamson on his social medias, he hasn't changed much. Like with what the type of things he's doing, it fits within his MO. Like that's his comedy, and he has a massive audience. And when we decided to make the film, we had a really set direction that we wanted to go. We wanted to make this film that was for this type of audience, and it was like literally back at the pitch where we made, where we got the money, you could say, from Screen Canberra. We said this is a film for tradies, this is a film for bogans, this is the type of comedy they like, and so therefore we're trying to fulfill that. I feel like we hit that mark 100%. But we reached it.
It's not all crassness as well, because you've got Greg Fleet at the end giving that fantastic speech or conversation over the phone to his daughter. That was amazing. I
think that's been brought up most out of any reviews or any comments about the film, that Greg Fleet's moment is, I mean, he said during the production, I would love to win a BAFTA for that scene. And
he would always joke and say, this is my BAFTA scene.
I'm like, okay, we can try. We can try. I mean...
That's the British Film Awards. It's like the British Oscars. I don't even think it would qualify.
Probably not.
That was a scene that was like one of the scariest for me, because I'm like, I felt more comfortable just filming people kind of bantering and saying, all the stuff that they say in the movie. But I'm like, oh man, this has to work on an emotional level. And you've had like 80 minutes of no emotions to that point. I'm like, I don't know if we've built the audience's trust enough to be able to do this. But I think Greg, who's like a NIDA trained actor, and has a daughter in real life, and like just went into that zone and was like basically just like, I'm going to say this as if I'm going to be talking to my own like 12-year-old daughter at the time. So it definitely wasn't anything that I did to make that scene work.
But he had to bring his 12-year-old daughter on set and put her behind the camera to be able to do that, didn't he?
We had to tear her apart in front of him so he could really get into those emotions.
That's commitment to the role there.
Yeah.
Guys, I just realised that Grant Denyer did not host National Bingo Night.
Wait,
fucking serious?
Is it because there never was a National Bingo Night? That was a ghost?
Well, actually... How could he? He's hosting every Just Cut simultaneously.
It was actually Tim Campbell, Anthony Callea's husband. He was also the host that took over for Joey Fatone in The Singing Bee.
Can I ask you a question about Anthony Callea?
Yeah.
Is it true that he was outed as gay by like a traffic weather helicopter type news helicopter? Like went over a car and was like, oh, there's like a man sucking off another man. Oh, it's Australian Idol's Anthony Callea.
Is that real?
Is that real?
Like, on one hand, I don't want to like get this wrong because I don't know if it's a bit or not. I'm very hold on.
See, instead of yes anding or no butting,
I'm sorry.
Maybe this.
I know
that.
a certain someone who wouldn't be saying no butting.
Hey,
in the bedroom.
It'd be
Anthony Callea, he's gay.
He's gay. I think maybe what you're
Butt
imagining,
sex.
though, Declan, is a scene from the incredible Mr. Dundee. I think that something similar like
Wait,
that.
did that happen?
No, but there was.
I'm so confused now.
There was a
There's a lot of news
helicopter like watching him do things in his house. I don't think there was any dick sucking.
Declan, did that happen?
I feel like
that a real
something
thing?
similar to that happened. I want Mitch to fact check it when we listen to this new clip about Morgan and Hayden asking the toughest questions on the live pod, and then Morgan speaks a little bit about writing music, and Mitch talks a little bit about being a zombie. Here it is.
In total, how many minutes would you say this film is?
Oh, right. 83 and...
Controversial.
Oh, is it? It's not 83. I don't know.
I think it might be upwards of 86 or 7, personally. That's just my opinion, though.
Whilst we're asking burning questions, I hadn't seen the film. What was with the deal with all the bloody things that were chasing? What were they?
Yeah, that's just kind of part of zombie movies generally. Like, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't really like that part of it.
Yeah.
You know?
That's cool.
More mates, less zombies next time.
Yeah, more mates, less zombies. Yeah. The blood itself was like a chocolate sauce, though, because they knew that people had to have it dripping out of their mouths. So it was like actually really delicious. Yeah, but they're like, stop swallowing it to all these zombie extras. Yeah.
And they all had sugar highs as well.
Yeah.
Which was not helpful.
I got to be a zombie in this movie, which was really
Oh,
exciting.
yeah, well.
Yeah. Anyone spot me? I didn't.
I saw you.
Did you? I've never seen myself in this movie. I thought I was cut. I was about to be like, so Dan, what's up?
I'm not the guy.
All
You can
right.
talk to Declan.
All right, man. No, I will say, yeah, it was a sticky day, and they had most of us in a room for like 3 hours, and you were just hanging out as zombies, and then you would go down for, I think, maybe 30 minutes of shooting, and then
go back.
And then go back.
Welcome
into
to
your room.
life of an extra.
Yeah, that was and a sticky extra at that, and yeah, it was pretty sweet.
Thanks.
That's all I really
Thanks for
had
sharing.
to say on that. I did want to mention Morgan did the score of this movie, which
there you go.
I really took it in this time. It was,
Thank you. Listening
made
back to
those-
it was kind of like when you're downloading a torrent on your phone and an ad comes up for a medieval game or like a pirate ship game. That's what it reminded me of in parts.
There's a lot of MIDI instruments in there, isn't there? But you basically worked on that for like 3 or 4 months or something, right?
Yeah, well, we both did.
Yeah.
We both worked on it together.
Just watching it then, I was like, this could use some more music in some parts. Like,
And there's
wanted to tighten it up a
There's
little.
moments where it feels like a sitcom
Yes.
segue scene.
Yeah.
It's like, "Brrr," like a
Yeah.
door opens or something. It's like, oh, there's music in this movie.
What's your favourite piece of music in it, watching it today?
Probably the one by Bliss and Esso at the beginning.
Yeah.
That's probably the tightest. But
Yeah.
the one during during Greg Fleet's attempted suicide.
Yes.
I just thought that was the most fitting and added to the comedy.
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty cool. And
That
that also
was-
reminded me of downloading a torrent and an ad in the middle.
That was one of the only like early on scenes that I had in my head when I was planning it. So I was like, I know it will be people in a telephone exchange and zombies outside, and they'll basically not fight the zombies. They'll just talk shit and drink beer for the whole time, and then the zombies will get in. But I was like, one of them will get bitten, and he'll try and kill himself, and he will kind of be talking himself out of doing it while he like he wants to do it, but he can't bring himself to do it. I remember telling my mum and dad that scene, and my mum just being like, that doesn't sound funny at all. And I'm like, no, he's going to have the shotgun in his mouth. He's going to be jumping around trying to pull the trigger, and he can't reach it, and it's just real awkward. And they're just like, I don't know if that's going to work, but I proved them wrong.
All right, so I've looked it up, and Anthony Callea was accidentally outed by an Eye in the Sky reporter, but I don't know if he saw any kind of sexual behaviour. It just seemed like a really callous way of outing Australian icon
I see.
Anthony Callea.
So I
he
mixed
was-
up. Yeah. So he would
His
have.
profession was
Yes.
Artie Pie in the Sky,
Yeah.
and
And so he might have been on TV in the helicopter and made like a joke about it or something. But he
okay.
wasn't like, I can see him sucking the guy off.
That's a
it's
funny
causing a
joke.
traffic pile up. Is that Anthony Callea?
That's a funny joke.
Yeah.
I like that.
All right. Well, that kind of brings us into the first audience question. So there was a mass. Again, I cannot stress this enough. The biggest crowd gathering I've ever seen in my
In
life.
history, I
We're at
think,
this-
probably.
Yeah.
I was there.
Like the fall of the Beijing Wall.
Yeah. It was bigger than when Noah parted the Red Sea.
Yeah. It was basically the equivalent to the animals getting on Noah's Ark.
Well, it was the equivalent of The Animal, starring Rob Schneider.
Yeah, like a lot
In
of people
Q&A
were
form.
there.
It was
A
like
lot
in
of-
Q&A form.
And they
with
were
animal.
They were animals. They were
Animalistic.
Yeah.
gnashing.
They were like the animal. They were like the Animal Collective. All sorts of noises and conceptual albums coming
like
out
the
of them
Animal
every couple of
Crossing.
years.
So this is the first animal. It's a man called Tom.
Should we go to some audience questions? Does anyone have any audience
Sense
questions?
those burning questions.
Yeah. We got a
Absolutely.
hand
Oh,
in
we
the
got-
middle.
we got time.
We got a few each,
Chuck
one
your
at the
hand
front
up.
as well.
Bearing in mind, we already dealt with the bloody things. They were zombies.
G'day, mate. What's your name?
Oh, hello, my name's Thomas.
And Thomas, what's your question this evening?
I was just wondering if you boys had any favourite lines in the movie.
Any favourite lions in the movie?
Yeah.
I thought it was mainly zombies, but apparently
My favourite is you can't hit an Asian and that's a hate crime. Just because it's true. What about you, Hayden? Did you have any bits you liked?
Yeah, I liked... there was heaps in there that I enjoyed. I liked that they don't even have sleeves line. That got me, yeah.
Mitch, did you have any favourite lines?
I think Shooter really, like, he had a lot of lines. I don't
But
think...
were there any of them funny?
I think he had the most amount of successful lines to me.
Name one.
I'm trying, man. I got put on the spot. I got flops wet.
What my other favourite one, because Mitch is clearly not up to it, is rape by its very definition cannot be requested, which again is just true.
I like that one because it leaves you dangling for a second. It's just inappropriate, but once he lands it with that second line, you're home free.
Probably mine is, I actually noticed nobody really kind of made too much noise, but I find the YOLO moment. I don't know why, I just kind of, it must be my childish humour. But
It was funny because it's true.
Yeah.
It was the meth line. It was like, nah, I've done meth. Fuck, I can't fuck.
He says, I've dabbled with meth. I chased people, but I didn't bite them. Not that hard.
Right.
There's one line.
it's funny because it's true.
Yeah, again, that is true. I don't know if anyone saw that video of Alex Williamson like kicking a fan in the face recently, but he may have been dabbling with meth. Who knows?
Yeah, you go Google it.
Yeah.
In Adelaide, Alex kicked a fan.
I have one favourite line because I've only ever heard one person laugh at it, and it's just something my mum used to say, which is like, don't leave the door open, our house isn't a tent. And I don't know if it's funny, but I put it in there, and I've watched it every time just hoping someone would laugh. And one time, like one cackle from the back, and I was like, that's my guy. But not tonight. Tonight it was dead silent, as usual. Morgan, I have a favourite line that you wrote. Do you know what your line that you wrote in this movie is?
No.
I think I sent you the script and you added a couple of things. And there was one line which is in the movie, and it's Greg Fleet talking to his daughter. He's like, you're going to have your very first beer. And she's like, I'm 19. And he's like, yeah, of course, this is your birthday. But as far as I'm concerned, you're as pure as the driven snow. Fuck, remember that pregnancy scare you had?
I honestly don't remember writing that, but watching it in the cinemas, I laughed very hard at that joke. It caught me off guard, and no one else laughed at it.
No, I thought that was funny,
Yeah, so Mitch, you've had an extra week to think of a single favourite line. What have you got for me, buddy?
I didn't like any of the lines.
Now that
I didn't want to say it at the spot. Felt awkward saying it to Dan. I didn't like the lines, this movie, it doesn't even pass the Bechdel test. So, I mean, explain yourself, Declan.
You're right. There's not two female characters that talk about something other than a male character in this movie because there's not two female-speaking characters. This is a blokes movie, Mitch.
Movie for blokes.
It's a movie for
Where
blokes.
does Bechdel come from? Like, what is...
It's the name of the person who came up with the idea of the test.
Yeah, well, they failed the Hayden test.
My favourite line is, Daryl, you've got the coordination of a stillborn giraffe.
Yeah, I love that
That's
one.
a good one.
Because it's like, okay.
Have you seen a giraffe being born? Like,
Yeah,
they come
let
out
me
all-
break it down. Yeah, and if they're stillborn...
Oh, they're not going to even get those leg wobbles to stay up.
And I just think that coordination is a very funny word when you put those sounds together. Sorry, Hayden.
Stillborn. I thought that was the follow-up album to Jets Get Born.
Stillborn.
I think that was what happened to their career after Get Born.
Get Born Again was going to be the second one.
All right, let's take a
It's
question.
like Pink had that album called I'm Not Dead. It's a terrible name
I'm
for
Not
an album.
Dead.
Yeah, she has an album
Had
called
anyone
I'm Not
said
Dead.
she was
Well, I
dead?
don't know. I don't think so.
All right, we take another question here from someone in the audience about some of the international releases and whether other audiences liked the movie. But Mitch, who have you got up there?
Right, sir, what is your name?
My name is Masood. I've got a couple of questions, one to Dan. So you mentioned, I think, in one of your podcasts, or it might have been in your in one of your posts, that it did pretty well in the Japanese market. Tell us a little bit about that, and
It was
what was the reaction to that?
I mean, we were surprised that people in Japan got to see it because we don't know if that was an official release. We found the post, like Declan regularly, like one of the things over the last 5 years is Declan sends me like updates of what's online about the film. So sometimes it's a very negative response to it. Sometimes it's a really glowing review of it. And one day he just found this Japanese poster. And it looks amazing. The poster looks awesome, like better than I think what I did with the official poster. But we found this amazing Japanese poster. It's like on a streaming site, and there were a few reviews, and they all were like, it was very funny. They didn't get all the humor, but there was a lot of gore, which they liked. They found it very they liked the Australian fauna, and they liked the Australian culture that was within it.
Yeah.
I mean, they're talking about the kangaroos at the start, which makes me think they probably only lasted the first 10 minutes. But, you know, they wrote a review of it, and we had to do the Google Translate, obviously, to understand what it was.
This was
really
pretty
cool.
recent as well. This was like in the last 12 months that it got somehow released.
I mean, we've seen no receipts from it, so we haven't made any money from it. But it was just actually just pleasant to know that, you know, it's been seen around. I mean, in regards to other international releases, I know the film got released in the Philippines, but it was released on Pirate Bay, and Pirate Bay was like 20,000 downloads, so that was good. That was great to see people seeing the film.
There was an Indonesian version on YouTube for ages as well.
Yeah, which was kind of cool, and until DMCA got rid of it. But it's the world has seen it, which I think is probably the most satisfying feeling about making it. Is it just wasn't an Australian thing, that people have embraced it to some degree.
We got to see it in Spain as well. It played in this film festival in Spain, and it didn't have captions or anything. It wasn't dubbed. It was just in English, no subtitles. And we were sitting in the back of this weird kind of community hall, and they're not really laughing at any of the dialogue. And probably because they speak Catalan, it was in Barcelona. So we're like, I don't think they understand what they're saying. And you're like, this movie is a lot of just people talking, and all of the jokes are just dialogue. But then they would go like nuts when someone would get killed. Like if a head got chopped off or something, they'd be like laughing and cheering. And you're like, oh, some things just transcend language, don't they?
And they liked the swearing. They really liked the swearing and the blood. Was the two things that they really gravitated to.
So just coming back to that, there's a part what Dan said about the Japanese poster. He was like, it was an amazing poster. It's a pretty good poster, but the fact is it's exactly the same as the American poster, just the lettering is in Japanese.
Jeez, that boils my blood.
Yeah.
That's slow finger Sanguinetti. That's salad-fingered Sanguinetti.
That boils my testicles.
Danel.
Thank you.
Salmonella.
Thank you.
Dan Salmonella.
Wash your hands,
Thank
man.
you. Thank you. Wash your
Hey,
hands.
I've got a favourite line.
Yeah.
I was a bit late to
Is
it.
it a line of Coke?
Hey.
No, they come in cans.
It was the one where he's like,
Cross the line, mate.
son, we live in a world that has walls, and those walls have to be guarded by men with guns.
Okay, he's doing
Who's
Jack
going to do
Nicholson
it?
He's doing Jack Nicholson, but he's not even
You,
doing...
Lieutenant Weinberg?
He's not even doing
I
Jack
have
Black
a greater
Nicholson.
responsibility. No, this is Christian Slater in A Few Good Men.
I wish you did it as Black Jack Nicholson or Jack Black Nicholson.
Hey, you can't handle the truth. Sorry. No,
Now, can you do
Jack
that
Black.
again, but
I
add a
take it
bit
back.
about bangers and mash and about his dad?
My dad says.
What does his daddy say about it? And did he order
My
them?
dad says we live in a world with walls, and there's bangers and mash behind those walls, Lieutenant Weinberg. Let's read some of the Japanese reviews. I got the Japanese reviews.
Can we do accents?
Yeah, we can do accents. So
All right.
obviously these are Japanese, written in Japanese. I've had to search the Japanese title of the website, the movie, to find them on a Japanese website. I've gone through Google Translate, so we'll read them in the accent that they've been translated to, which is, of course, English.
Yes.
All right, so this one's called Impressions and Evaluations of Theocrats. Thorough stupidity is completely different from playing around with texto. Unfortunately, this work seems to have been made with the latter playful spirit. A vile movie from Australia that doesn't deserve a positive evaluation.
And it's me,
I was going to do John.
John Cleese Van Damme.
You have it. It's fine. I've got another one in the tank.
Yes. Impressions and evaluations of Kojika movie.
That must be zombie in Japanese?
I suppose so. Zombie comedy B-class movie, The Story, and characters are full tsukomi. and is recommended for those who like B-class movies. This is the first time I've seen a ball mosaic in a movie. I laughed at the sudden appearance of intelligent zombies.
Now that's a 1 out of 5 stars. It sounds fairly positive
Sounds good
to me.
in that voice.
The first I've seen a ball
exciting.
mosaic.
Yeah, now that's got to be the testicle moment.
Yeah, I
he's talking
suppose so.
about.
That was a mosaic.
Yeah.
Ball mosaic.
I wonder if the harsh tone of the 1-star review was lost in the Google translation and the beautiful English John Cleese accent. I was like,
Cleese
this
Van
guy
Damme.
loved the movie.
Was that John Cleese or John Cleese Van Damme?
that
I
was
don't
just
know.
John Cleese. Sorry.
All right, Morgan, what you got for us?
Texture of the
He's got Alan
B-class
Rickman from Harry
movie
Potter.
without lies poster there is
Hold on, can
no...
you say that again? I didn't quite...
The texture of the B-class movie without lies poster there is no element that has the same strangeness as the movie, and although the setting is of the orthodox zombies is occasionally firmly put in, the black joke in the life of the castle is the main. Frankly speaking, it was a pity that I couldn't be an honest student or a sharp guy, but if I was bored anyway, I wish I could have released a koala or kangaroo zombie like an Australian movie.
That's great.
All right, Mitch, what's next? Oh, that was a 2-star out of 5. So that's a 4 out of 10. And a 5 out of 10 for the impression.
I didn't have any particularly laughable scenes, but I really liked the stubbornness of the end rolls that I enjoyed normally.
Okay,
I
so
enjoyed
there's about 3 or 4 of the Japanese reviews that mention this, which is during the end credits, there's a scene. So the movie ends, the credits start, the characters come back. The characters are basically dead as well. Like it ends with the 2 of the main characters dying. The credit starts. They come back. They're still dying. They're covered in blood. They've just been eaten by zombies. It's like just their heads, and they're talking a little bit more. And then the credits roll. And then at the end of the credits, they come back a 3rd time. And so numerous of these Japanese things are like, I liked the stubbornness of the fact that the movie like would not end. Like it comes back. Which is just that means they watched it all the way to the end as well, which blows my mind because as we said, it's a fairly average movie at best.
The Japanese are nothing if not
my
thorough.
favorite review. I thought that the correct answer was to give up thinking that zombie comedy is good or bad and make them crazy and watch them crap.
And then it says, the way it ends may be a little new. Let's watch it exactly during and after the end credit roll. Only there was a little evaluation. I lost when I thought about where the crowded people went.
They lost. I imagine them getting very sad when they think, oh, where did all the people go?
Yeah, I think
It's like Eleanor
what
Rigby.
he's saying is that there's scenes where there's like a lot of zombies outside, and then there's
So
scenes where
you're
there's just a couple.
speaking for the Japanese.
Yeah,
I think we need to stop English
that's colonialism.
That's colonialism.
All right,
When I was over in Japan, they did say this a lot.
Did they?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
you would
like-
see movies and you'd be like, "Where's the stubbornness of the end?"
Yeah,
credit
but
roll?
so I stuck around, but then I did leave for the evaluation part. For there was all these people that have
That last one we read also gave it a 2.8 out of 5. So that's positive. All right,
pretty good.
We got 2 more short ones. And it always says impressions and evaluations of, and then the name of the person.
Yeah.
So this is Jenny, right? It's a very short review, 2.3 stars out of 5. This is like the B-class movie. Laughs. It feels like you can laugh a little.
Yeah.
I couldn't laugh as much as comedy, but I could laugh a little at the end. Why do they love the end so much?
I don't know.
They think that's okay. Like,
Maybe.
there's nothing wrong with the end, but
Yeah, I
it's
like
not.
it.
It's not funny. Like, I think all the funny stuff happens earlier and in the middle of the movie,
To
right?
watch it for 90 minutes and be like, I don't like this movie. It's not very funny. I don't get it. It's all Australian. And then be like, but it just kept coming back at the end. It just would not end. And I appreciate
It
that.
was persistent.
It's
You know how
stubbornness.
sometimes you hear about those couples and they're telling their story when they're like 80 years old. It's like, he was so persistent, you know. he just kept hitting on me. That's what this movie is. It just keeps hitting on you, and eventually you give in and you marry the damn thing, and you have 4 kids with the fucker.
All right, there's a few clips left. I mean, we've been going for so long. Maybe I won't even play them all. But this
Blame
is
on double speed. Make it sound like chipmunks.
This is another question from the audience. This was a man called Paul, and he's asking about... We talk a bit about changes to the script and reshoots and the expensive heartbreak, and also I talk a little bit about playing the character of Daryl myself. Take a listen.
All right, I got a question from a gentleman.
My name is Paul, and two things. One, first of all, I like the little line there where Andy Trieu says, why does everyone keep asking me that about the ninja movies? I thought that was a classic.
Yes.
But the other question, I guess, about the whole process, unless somebody else has already asked this, but it's a long journey from script through to shoot, through to post-production, all the things you have to do, and then the edit as well. So how much did it change in that process? I mean, was it kind of a fairly smooth process, or did you have to make major decisions, particularly in that last kind of, when you decide to have to do that final cut?
Yeah, we did one extra day, maybe 3 or 4 months later after the main shoot, and we had a rough cut and we just had a few holes we had to fill in. But for this one day, we were like, what can we cram into one shooting day? We added a bunch of scenes and little pieces, and we got a crane, and we did this whole thing out the front of my parents' house. And
this is the biggest heartbreak, I think, for me, this story. So I keep telling you, but it's a sucky story.
So the very opening of the movie, where you see a bunch of zombies and you see like a crashed car and Alex Williamson's character like breaks into this house. Yeah, we had this whole crane shot, and the idea was that it was meant to open on this zombie head and then it would get exploded and he would run through. And we filmed it all, and then one of our producers was like, we formatted the card and we just lost all of that footage.
It would have been spectacular. Just imagine, right? Like, picture this. And I mean, I pushed Declan saying, this is something I want to see. I want to see the opening of the film. It's just this landscape of Tuggeron, and it's on fire.
Yeah.
And it's burning, and there's sirens, and there's people screaming, and and the camera comes down, it moves down towards
lands on a zombie's head.
Roof of the house, all that you see the mess that's in
Australian
front of it. Australian flag type deal, and then you come on a zombie, you see his face, and we've got that zombie at the start. The first zombie you see his face, and the idea was then we're going to digitally add his head popping off, and in comes Alex Williamson. That was going to be his big introduction to the film, and it would have been all in one shot, and it would have been spectacular.
Yeah,
and that's not obviously how the film starts.
Yeah, so what happened was we basically lost that whole morning shoot, and then Mike, who's here, was shooting behind the scenes with one of Dan's cameras, and we were like, do you have any behind the scenes of that scene? And he's like, I have a few shots, I have a close-up of the zombie, and I have like, it's actually me playing Alex Williamson in that because we couldn't get him back for that one day. So it's me running through. Yeah, we just used behind-the-scenes footage for it.
Yep. So Mikey saved the day, basically. So, yay.
I could tell that wasn't him. I thought, who's that going through those cupboards? And it was you. Yeah. That's cool.
You can tell by my hunch in my back, my personality shines through.
Just a more attractive person in the first part of the film than the rest of the film.
So Hayden, are you gay?
I'm gay. Yeah, no, I like
Morgan.
Yeah.
Are you a traffic helicopter man? Just outing?
Stop.
Yeah.
Just because you sort of suck a dick from a helicopter.
Suck a
doesn't
dick
mean
every
you
now and
tell
then.
the
That's
audience
exactly how
about
he
it.
did it in the airplane.
There's
as
something
well.
so funny to me about the idea of like, and traffic on the parkway is blocked up to. Is that Anthony Callea
sucking a cock?
I think it's funnier if somebody's commentating a horse race and then they just break just in the middle. And Anthony Clay's sucking a dick. Anyway, back to the horse race.
Yeah. Speaking of money that was lost, that day that we lost half that footage of the reshoot day was about $10,000 worth. Down the drain.
I think I remember you telling me about the idea that it would start off with the burning of the... Yeah, that would have been good. That would have been good.
Yeah. Because that was the idea. We watched it and we were like, oh, there's no real context to what's going on in the world, how big this is, how far along it is.
Yeah.
So maybe we'll add it in. This is a question now where I asked Dan a plot question. Oh, it was Vic LaRusso from Channel 10?
Oh, Vic LaRusso
in the Channel 10.
Dude, he's up there with Richard Moorcroft. He's literally up there in the airplane, in the helicopter right now with Richard Moorcroft.
All right, here's a part where I asked Dan a question that's always bothered me about the plot, or basically it bothered me watching it just then, and so I thought I'd put it on him, even though I'm the one who fucking wrote the fucking thing.
We should be doing more impressions of Vic LaRusso. Because do you remember they had the fisheye lens?
So Dan, I got a question for you about the plot.
Sure.
If Roy loves his wife so much and will care so much about her dying, Why does he not once ask where she is or what she's doing or mention her at all for the whole movie?
It's a really good question. I might refer that to my director and writer.
But also, why didn't Fleety and Shooter go with them in the car?
Oh no! That's obvious. He's dying.
Oh,
And
he's
Shooter's
dying.
an idiot.
And Shooter's a coward.
No, he's an idiot.
Yeah.
That's it. But he was dying. Like that. That's the main threat of the story. Really, is that Greg Fleet was just a dad, and he cared about his children, like you could say, and so that's he was just doing the right thing because he would have turned into a rotter and he would have killed everyone. So it was the right thing. It's just Alex should have gone, or Shooter should have gone. He's an idiot, but that's great.
He deserved to die after everything.
Like
he
they're
did.
pretty awful people, so they kind of got what they deserved.
Should we have given Dan more shit about plot things in this live? Like, should we have just hammered him hard?
Is it his fault if there's problems with the plot?
He should take all the
It's
brunt.
definitely my fault, but
Yeah.
we were all. It was four of us versus one of him, and I'm on your guys'
I
side.
should have given it to him.
Any other questions that you're like that you're now thinking about the plot, Mitch? That you're like, well, this didn't make sense to me.
I don't think anything didn't make sense.
It was just boring.
No, it wasn't boring.
No,
It just-
it's never.
the story
That's
doesn't
the shocking
really go
thing about
anywhere.
it is for how little is happening plot wise.
It's just a vehicle for jokes. Yeah, they're good jokes, and I mean, like the plot to me is they're locked inside the telephone exchange. Some more people come to the telephone exchange. We discover that maybe the army's in on it, and it just kind of like. But there's no, I guess, especially considering like the way the movie ends, there's no triumph at the end, right? They just kind of die.
I mean, it's. I don't.
I guess they get away. There's a bit of a story arc, but most of it's just set in the exchange and people come in and out. And I don't think that's for a comedy movie. I don't know that you need. And I've said this before on the podcast. I don't like it when a comedy movie tries to really carry a plot too far because it can't focus on the bits.
Yeah.
And I just want bits, right?
Yeah.
And that's what this movie had.
It's comparable to your Clerks as well.
Yes.
Kind of like a bottle episode, one environment, lots of dialogue, lots of
Clerks
philosophizing.
was a big inspiration. It's like, what can you do with a real small budget where it's just characters talking to each other, and that's how you sustain like 90 minutes.
Right.
And so there's a bit of zombies in there because you're like, we need people to watch this, and I don't think you could do just like a convenience store movie nowadays.
Yeah.
Do you think this would have played better if it was in black and white?
It might have looked better if it was in black and white. I'll chuck it through a little filter.
What if it had Vic LaRusso in
It would
it?
sound better in black and white. Do you think?
It would sound better if Anthony Callea was singing the soundtrack with a dick in his
Anthony
mouth.
Callea's songs?
You raise me up. I think that was a cover. I don't know. I can't think of a singer.
Didn't he have that song? I don't come up there and slap the dick out of your mouth. I said, I don't come up there. And
He did. He also
He had
had
that
that
one?
song about Vic LaRusso.
All right, there's a couple more clips.
LaRusso in the traffic copter.
Oh, before I go to the next clip, I want to ask you guys a trivia question. So there's a little running gag where Roy references films. He does it 4 times. Can anyone name 3 of the film references that he makes?
I don't remember
I think
any.
there's a Crocodile Dundee reference.
There's a
in
Crocodile Dundee reference.
Oh, yeah.
He goes, that's not a knife. This is a knife. And he's like, no, that's a machete. Oh, he goes, you call this a knife? No, I call that a
He
machete.
does Sundance and Grim
Yes.
Gram and Sundance.
Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid.
Bush Cassidy and the Sing Sang Bam. And he's...
The other one is...
Mad Max? No.
Yeah.
Mad Max?
He says Mad Max at some point.
Alex Williamson says I'm like the junkie Mad Max.
Yeah.
But there's one, the other one I'm thinking of is, well, there's one where he's looking in the mirror and he says Showtime. And then there's one where he just goes, oh, when everyone's dying, don't come crawling back to me. It's going to be like Nightmare on Ball Street.
Nightmare on Ball Street.
That one had a lot of nuance.
It doesn't even rhyme.
Yeah. And there's one where he's like, get us when the rotters have got us. That rhymes. I'm like the Bob Dylan of tradies.
Yeah, and he truly is the Bob Dylan.
Dog
tradies.
knowing, chip picking Roy.
And then later on, he's controlling things telepathically, or he's trying to tell his
Like
friend
Bob
to,
Dylan does.
and he goes, "Use the Force." He says, "Use the Force."
He doesn't. That's a lie.
Luke, use the Force.
All right, this next question is from Mitch's friend Tim. Let's hear how that went.
All right, I got a question from a man in a Christmas shirt. Christmas shirt, what's your name?
Tim. With the last question from the bloke down there, you kind of answered the stuff with, I guess, where you had to make decisions on it not being perfect in regards to like logistics, paying and all that.
Yeah.
But I guess more for Declan, like choosing where to actually draw the line. It's like, it's not perfect, but it's like this is good enough to get out. Like, well, I guess what's the process for you to do that?
Yeah, there's so many decisions like every day with little things, and you're fighting against time and money, obviously, but also against the crew and people just saying like, you're like, I want it to have this to happen, I want it to look like this, and then people are like, oh yeah, it's not going to work if you try that. And then sometimes you have to take their word for it. If you're unexperienced like me, you just go, all right, well, we'll have to do something else then. And then other times you go back and like make it happen, and it works good, and you're like, why didn't we do that? That's what I said all along. I knew it would work. There was one example like that when Alex Williamson shoots the zombie with the screwdriver in its eye, like at the start. We had this dummy, and we caved out its head and everything. And the first thing we tried to do was we wanted the big explosion of the gunshot, so we filled this condom with blood, and we had our special effects guys pumping it with an air pump. And so we sat for like a minute just rolling the camera right above this zombie's dummy head with a big exploding condom. And they're pumping it and they're pumping it, and condoms can really expand. It got like massive, and we're just everyone's going, this is going to be huge. This is going to be like, they're all wearing goggles and stuff.
It's a regular Friday night for me, mate.
Yeah. And they're pumping and pumping, and it's 45 seconds, a minute straight. The tension is just rising and rising, and then it just goes. And it's just the most, literally a deflating moment, which we do still put that shot in. You just, when they go back to the head, you see it like pooling out. And I was saying, can we shoot the condom when it's filled? Can we shoot it so we get the splatter? Yeah, people in the crew were like, no, you can't shoot the condom. And then the gun guy came up to me, the armourer, and was like, why don't we shoot it next time? I'm like, yes, that's what I've been trying to get people to do. They told me it wasn't good. And then we shot it, and that's the shot that's in the movie. So, yeah, that's one example. One of the things I remember was like the day before we were filming with the military rover, we had Esso coming down from Bliss and Esso to play the soldier. We had Jim as the other soldier. Dan calls me. We finished filming one day. We're ready. It's like 6 p.m. I'm driving home, and Dan calls me, and he's like, there was a long and involved story about how we were going to get this military rover, and the truth is that we found one in a car park once, and we just left a note that said, hey, we want to make a movie, can we hire your rover for like one day in like 6 months? And we got in touch with the guy eventually, and he was like, yep, cool. Anyway, the day before we meant to do it, Dan calls me, he's like, the guy with the rover is in Perth, and he's got the keys in Perth, and so he can't give us the rover. And I was like, all right, well, what are we going to do? And Dan's like,
hey, look, I'm a thinker and a doer, all right?
He goes, we can use my car, and we're going to go to Bunnings right now, and we're going to paint it like military camouflage. Well, I've sent someone to go to Bunnings right now. And I was like, okay, can we do anything else? And then, we basically put the call out. Is Jerry here?
Yeah, Jerry's
here.
here.
Jerry. So I think Jerry was like, I might know someone who knows someone who's like a car person who might know someone who has one of these. And the next day it was there, and we paid him like a case of beer.
Sure, you're missing the part that I turned up really early with paint and like stuff. I was guaranteed I was doing it. I was doing it. Yeah. And I got told as I was getting the paint out. I still have those cans of paint. No, seriously, they're sitting in my garage. I've never needed green spray paint before.
Dan's never needed green spray paint. Can you boys believe it?
I can't believe it. What was he talking about?
Classic Dan.
Having met him, I don't believe it.
Yeah. No.
You're like, he would have used that.
He's always got like green spray paint around his mouth.
He's like a Mad Max character. He loves that shit.
Hey, what I never got about people that do chroming, why do they always do it with spray paint? Why don't you use like deodorant or something, right? Because then it doesn't leave it. Is there something in the paint, or is it? I thought it was the aerosol itself. It's actually paint. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
you can't do it with other things.
I mean, I don't know.
Why don't they get invisible paint so that it doesn't leave a mark around their mouth?
They like that noise.
That's a really good question. Why don't they get invisible paint?
Why don't?
And now let's go to another question. This is the second last question. This is from April in the audience, who asks about the upcoming sequel. And as I said before, we made no money from this movie, and it didn't get great reviews.
When are you shooting the sequel?
shooting a sequel. Well, we actually tried that. We didn't try.
We didn't try to shoot it.
We wrote. Well, Declan wrote it, and I liked it.
Yeah, I can tell you what it would be. It would start off with Alex Williamson and Greg Fleet being dragged into the desert and given bionic legs by a bunch of aliens, and then you'd find the apprentices that are like living out in the middle of nowhere. There's a whole Mad Max thing with a gladiator ring where they make people rap battle to the death, and then they kill like the loser of the rap battle. Adele's character Emma would be pregnant, and she'd have the baby about halfway through, and it would be an alien. And Alex Williamson would walk around with the alien, and it would be like his little CGI friend, and it would have two kind of big boobs for eyes and a vagina for a mouth, and he'd be just trying really hard not to start an inappropriate relationship with it. And the movie would be called Me and My Mates versus the Alien Invasion. And the twist would be that the aliens sent down the zombie virus to kind of like wipe out most of humanity, and then they come and take over Earth.
And that's exactly what he sent me. No lie.
Yeah.
That's
I
the
even
pitch.
had a picture of the alien face.
That's where you started.
Now, that's partly true. I actually went back and read this document about the sequel. I hadn't opened it in 6 years, but because I remembered some of it, and then some of the stuff I said was a lie. It was just incorrect information. The actual trick was in the scene in the tunnel where Alex Williamson says to Greg Fleet, "What's at the end of this escape tunnel?" And he goes, "It leads to the gates of hell." In the movie, we use a take where he goes like, "Oh, don't say that, not after all we've seen." But we also shot another take where he's like, while he's crawling through the tunnel, he puts something in his mouth, and then as he says, "It leads to the gates of hell," he goes, "Oh, don't say that, I just took an acid tab." And then the idea was going to be that the end of the movie was just an acid trip, and so they didn't actually get torn apart, but some of the real stuff. So it was going to open with Matt Pop like all disheveled out in the bush, like hunting rabbits and stuff, and then Adele's there, and she's like Emma's character's really pregnant, like 8.5 months pregnant, and then they've got Andy True's character who's grown no beard, has still like exactly the same hair, he looks all nice, and he's got his broken ankle from like the end of the movie, right? And so he's just being pampered, and he's like in the tent, and he's like, "Oh, can you guys bring me something, like can you pat me down and rub the sweat from my forehead, because I'm injured, I've got this broken leg," right? And then like, yeah, you find out that it healed like 6 months ago, but he's just been laying there and being taken care of, and they're bringing him food and stuff. All the other stuff about the aliens coming down and her giving birth to an alien and Alex Williamson like befriending it, that's all true. And I said that there's a photo in here about what the alien would look like, so I may as well show you guys right now.
And we can describe it.
Yeah, so that's what the alien's head would look like, right?
What is that?
That's a pair of...
That's like a...
Is it a sex toy?
Yeah, it's a sex toy.
But why is the tits on it?
Exactly.
Okay.
Just condensing the female form down to its essential.
Well, yeah, the most important parts, the toes.
The toes and the ears.
All right, so we've got one last question from the audience.
Hi. I'm Christina.
Oh,
and
thanks, Christina, for joining us.
No worries, I really like the film. I'm just wondering, who's that sexy man up on stage with you? The
That's
man-
Declan Stroud.
No, the other one over there.
John,
No,
Hayden.
no.
Hayden, that's you, bro.
That's
Stop being shy.
Hey, what's going on? You got a question for me?
Yeah, I was just wondering, did you hear about Anthony Callea and the way that he was out?
Well, yes, I did hear about that, love. Would you like to hear more about it after this screening?
No.
Thank you very much. And scene.
Dude, that was whack.
That was fucked up. All right, let's go to the very last question.
Whack.
Your name, sir?
Sam. I was a production assistant on the film. And, thanks.
That's it.
That's it. No, I was only at the rap party for like a short time, and I know with such big characters, there must be some good stories. I know I got called in like maybe a day or two later to help clean up the shellfish that had gone real bad in the in the un-air conditioned set.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was wondering if there's any stories, like was there any clashes with the big characters or any stories from the rap party that I missed?
Yeah, there was a good one where Matt Pop's girlfriend got into a long fight with Jim Jefferies.
That's right. That was that went a while.
They were arguing over whether acting is difficult, and so Matt Pop's girlfriend had just done like 3 years at Charles Sturt Wagga or something doing acting, and Jim was saying acting is the easiest job in the world, and she's like, well, no, it's not. It's really difficult, and he's like, no, I just did 2 seasons of a sitcom, and no one once ever asked if I could act before I starred in it, and she was like, well, no, like real acting, you know, deep emotional stuff is really difficult, and he's like, then how come Anna Paquin won an Oscar when she was 9? If a 9-year-old can do a job better than everyone else, it can't be that hard. And they're both very drunk, and me and Morgan are standing right there watching this for a good 25 minutes. Like, they are going at it. And Matt Pop's girlfriend was getting really angry and just being like, he is such a fucking dickhead. This guy is such a dickhead. And he like, Jim Jefferies is very funny, and he was doing it in this very, like, nonchalant, just kind of like, get out of my face.
That's the thing, though. When you get to know James on a face-to-face level, he really is the sweetest man. I mean, salt of the earth.
One of his arguments, which, like, you know, it's hard to disagree with the man when he's in his zone, but he was saying, like, dancing's harder, stand-up comedy's harder, juggling is harder.
and giving pretty good reasons as well. He was breaking it down.
And the way it ended, and I don't know if I should say this, but whatever, you guys came for the 5-year anniversary. He just goes, all right, I'm going to go do some more cocaine. And you're going to tell me 3 reasons why acting's harder than stripping. And then walked away. True story. There was one part that I thought about afterwards, and my girlfriend reminded me, is in the middle of this, he put his finger in his nose and pulled out, and he just goes, oh, Coke boogie.
Good.
Oh. I remember when Dan told me we got him into the movie, he called me and he goes, I just got a call from the manager. Jeffrey Nugent is in. And I just said, what does that mean? And he said, oh, that's Jim Jeffries' real name. And I was like, well, why would you...
That's ridiculous.
Jeffrey Nugent. Did you know that Jeffrey Nugent is afraid of bananas?
Is that one of his bits or something?
No.
It's Morgan showed
you
me
can
this.
find this clip on YouTube.
Oh yes, it's on Opie and Anthony or something, right? And he just keeps me like, no, seriously. It's not
don't open the banana. No, it just does. It's this with the chewing and it's the texture of it all.
Yeah.
No, don't give it to Anthony. Oh, no.
Yeah, and they're just tormenting him with it and stuff. Yeah. Oh, good
It's
times.
very sad.
I remember they did like, there was like an episode of Dr. Phil or one of these shows that was like entirely like the special episode dedicated to phobias. And then you get like a woman out on stage and ask her what her phobia was, and of course you know what's going to come next. And so she
We've
like
got 1,000 of them, right?
yeah, and she's like she didn't like cotton wool balls, and then out comes a guy like in a like full cotton wool ball like outfit, like covered in cotton wool, and she starts screaming and stuff. It's like, what are you torturing this person for? She's like,
No, just calm down there.
this is good for you.
Don't worry.
He's like, don't worry, this is good TV.
Well, I'm bald and you don't see me screaming about it. And everyone's like,
I've got one of the interns to dress like Pop and Fresh. She's just deathly screaming. Oh, that is horrendous. I also like people have legit fears, and they're just like, I'm afraid of deadly hornets. And they're like, well, we've got a cage full of them. Unleash them into the audience, and everyone's screaming. They're like, oh, this is a widespread phobia.
Wow, there must be a lot of people here that have this. Yeah, this affliction.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So we better give this film a rating. Are there any other clips or?
No, that's the last clip, everybody. So, should we go around and give our final thoughts?
Let's go around the horn.
I'm going to start. And my opinion is has been swayed by reading every...
Sway in the morning.
Yeah, well, I've listened to a lot of Sway. Especially that one where Kanye keeps telling him he doesn't have the answers.
He doesn't have the answers, though. It's true.
So I've read every review that is out there, including the Japanese translated ones. And obviously I made the movie, and it's been 5 years since it came out. So it's been 7 years since I wrote it and 6 years since we filmed it. And, I've matured as a human being. I have a weird relationship with it where I'm like, I see all the little things that are bad about it. Like, I would be more critical. So if someone says, oh, I give this a 1 star, I hated this movie, it was trash, I'm like, yeah, I totally agree with it. When someone's like, I love this movie. I'm like, oh, that is so awesome. I don't know if I could say that I love this movie, but I find it really funny still, and I think there's good bits in it, and there's a lot of bad stuff. So I like gonna give it a 5.5. I think it just borders on being like kind of right on dead average to me. That's where I see it.
Mm-hmm. How does that compare to all the other movies that you've rated?
I think it's pretty high in the pantheon of these, and I'm totally willing to say I'm biased because I have some good memories of making this thing, and I still find it funny. But I think, like, as I said, production value is really bad. Some of the plot is like, there's just so much like about the plan, and the way it was directed is really the worst part. Not just the way it looks, but like the only thing I was focusing on was like the rhythm of the dialogue, and I'm like, just the composition is terrible, the blocking is really bad, the framing is really bad. So yeah, I'm like, as a directed movie, it's really bad, and it would probably be like a 2 out of 10 or something. But I think the characters, the performances, and the way that they did all the lines and stuff makes it like watchable to me. So
yeah, I think it's the script and the performances that make it enjoyable to watch. I don't want to offend you. And I'm not.
You actually can't. Like, I feel like I could not have a thicker skin about this because, as I said, I've read hundreds of people being like, "This movie was horrendous. It's a 1 star."
I'm gonna give it. The thing is, like, I'm putting it on the same scale as all the other films that I've rated on this podcast, and I think I have to be honest in saying that I didn't like it as much as Staying Alive, which is obvious. And I think that's a roundabout. I can't remember how high I've taken Staying Alive.
You said that to his face, man.
Well, I was looking at my phone at the time. But I will make eye contact now and say I like Staying Alive more.
I know that nothing will ever beat Staying Alive. That is held as a constant. If you said it was better than Staying Alive, I would end the podcast right then and there.
Damn straight. Yeah. Certainly better than Bolero, Low Down Shame. So I'm going to give it a 6, just a clean 6, because that sits well in the rating of everything else. It was a funny movie.
And your Staying Alive was a 6.5, right?
Well, yeah, but I think I've upgraded that a few times. It's an old document I'm looking at.
Dog.
It's an old dog.
I'm looking at the newest one, and it's
still 6.5. You haven't been updating it.
No, I have. You put other ones as a 6.45 and a 6.47.
Right. What were those?
Derailed. You gave a 6.45.
That was good.
You gave Killing Me Softly a 6.47.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'd say both of those movies I enjoyed more than this, I think, just.
And this beat, if you're giving it a 6, you're beating Problem Child by 0.1.
Yeah.
That was a 5.9 for you.
I thought this was funnier than Problem Child. Again, because it just was jokes. Like I've said before 1,000 times, I just like joke after joke. I don't want to watch Problem Child.
What did I give Problem Child, though?
Mitch, you gave Problem Child a 7 out of 10. And you gave Highlander 2 an 8 out of 10, which makes it a legitimately...
8?
I was really wild and out.
8?
Yeah.
Yes.
Jesus Christ.
I was really just throwing my balls into the wind.
Yes, you were putting your ball. What was the line from that review? Something about I've never seen a ball. Something.
Mosaic. Now remember, this movie does have a close-up of balls, but it also has some naked female breasts, so there's something for everyone.
Everyone on the spectrum.
Should have made them talk to each other about something, and then you would have passed the Bechdel test, dude. Ugh.
If I made the two titties talk to each other.
Yeah, if you made the tits talk to each other.
Have you ever seen titties like in these are pretty big titties in the movie, and they are running and at sprint, and they are flopping about.
Sure.
The physics in a titty flop during a sprint should be studied. I'm just telling you, they wilding out.
I don't know what you'd pull from that study.
Well,
you'd be pulling something, eh, fellas?
What are you talking about?
I don't know. I wish I knew. I always have to say I know, but I don't know.
Most of the time, I don't know when there's a group of men and they start laughing.
Yeah.
You just stand there going, I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm gonna go 6 for this one.
Flat 6.
Flat 6. I think.
Give a brother a 0.1, Mitch. Give a brother a 0.1. It's all I've got, mate. We lost so much money, Mitch. 0.1, please. You gave Shadow Conspiracy a 6.4.
Shadow Conspiracy was good.
Shadow
I
Conspiracy
like
had
that
a lot
movie.
going on, man.
Watchable. I don't
You
know.
gave
though.
Mac and me a 6.8.
Had a thick
It's
plot.
better than Mac and Me. Come
You
on.
ever been to McDonald's? All right.
Give Mac and me a 6.
I get
You ever been to
McDonald's.
Psycho. You ever
What?
been to McDonald's? Yeah, well then Mac
You
and
ever
Me's
been to
better.
McDonald's?
All right.
Oh, they
We
were
hadn't
they
seen
were
that many
dancing.
movies
I've
at
never
that
been to a
point. Now
fucking
it's starting to
telephone
have
exchange.
a lot of fun. All right, these are okay. Well, then it's not in the same scale. It's not the same scale. It's all right. 7.
All right.
So it's jumped a whole extra point.
That is so good. That makes me feel so good.
It just gets there. And I will say it is earned. And I was trying to give it like a fair rating in terms of like this. But now thinking about the way that I've rated movies, yeah, sweet 7.
I'll take
I
a 7.
loved it, bro.
Thanks, man. It was fun.
I worked on it. I was always
Morgan,
gonna like.
don't do that to the mic cable.
Don't twist that.
It's bothering me.
Don't you twist that.
All right, Morgan, you're up next.
It's-
What have you got
It's
for
a
us?
good movie. I have so many fond memories of it. There's so many people in it that I like. So many people in it that I hate. So many people that I feel indifferent about.
The guy from Davis Wheeler with the googly eyes.
Yeah, that guy popped up in it. I can't really objectively rate it and rank it against the other movies. The only way I can sort of compare it to other movies is in terms of like Australian movies and things that have a similar quality and funding, like The Wizard of Oz, for example, by directed by Michael Shanks, who's been on this podcast a couple of times. And they're about of equal quality, and I think they're about of equal.
This is probably
Michael, if you're listening, and I hope you are, I don't agree with that. I think Wizards of Oz is a lot better.
Of course, you guys didn't say this at all. This is me talking. I'm saying this.
But I just want you to know this isn't me talking right now. This is Morgan, not me.
This is me. This is now me.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
Actually,
I'd
like to just clarify. This isn't me saying this either. I'm not saying this. I'm not in control. But I think it's as watchable.
Very nice. Call
and
back.
I think it's as well paced.
Call back.
And I think there's as many jokes and as many good performances as that. And compared to many other Australian things, this is basically The Castle too. When you're watching this, I'm thinking this is
Just a bit more blood and a bit more fuck words.
Yeah, it's like The Dish and The Castle had a baby, and what
I like where he's going with this. Go on. Yeah, go on.
And what was born?
Was the Born Identity.
The Born Identity. I'm gonna give it a 6.9.
69.
Eating a fucking pussy.
Eating the
dick
pussy.
And I also just want to say,
I don't know.
I was
I don't
Declan
know.
before saying all that shit about you. He did the Callea bit. He did it all.
I just want to say, traffic up the parkway is blocked. Is that Declan pretending to be Morgan, giving a bad review to Wizards of Oz?
Well, I'd like to give him some traffic up the parkway. You know what I mean?
I don't know.
Just quickly while we're doing.
Is that how Vince LaRusso was like, I'd like to give Anthony Callea some traffic up the parkway? Oh, sorry. No, he is gay. He is gay. Should I not have said that?
Unfortunately, I was reading up on it just before, and it's pretty boring. He's like talking about like a friend of his from school, and then he's like, yeah, and his partner's actually like, I don't know, Anthony Callea.
Oh, right.
And that was literally the extent of it. So yeah.
All right, that's the end of the podcast. Thanks for listening. Truly rotten potatoes.
Oh, you don't want to hear Big Balls one more time?
No. No.